Lift off.
Thank you for tuning in to 26 Sports. It's your host, Mike Reza, and today I'm on with very, very special guest. I have the women from Women Crushing It Wednesdays on a special Monday edition here. So I'm going to have you go ahead and introduce yourself, ladies. We'll start at the top left with Miss Hollywood up here.
In the ring with Christine here, Christine Lopez. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I told him that we were going to take over the show. He said, back, but we'll see how it goes.
All right, and then next, right below me, we have Boxer Girl. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. I'm Boxer Girl, and that's it. I'm here.
And to the corner right here, we have one of the best photographers in the game. If you don't know,
Oh,
you will find out real
absolutely.
soon. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
What's up? I'm Esmeralda Ferraro. I'm Fotógrafa de la Gente on Twitter and Instagram. And thank you so much for that, Mike. I mean, I'm glad I'm finally on your show with my
no,
ladies.
no problem. We had to get you guys on, and yeah, man. Let's get into it. Let's talk about this weekend of fights. We'll start off first with the DAZN card from Guadalajara. Canelo actually put on. Um, Go into the main event because, well, I'm gonna talk about one of my favorite fighters, young prospects, Diego Pacheco. What did you guys think about what he did? Because that's one of my favorite guys right there, man. That's my guy. So, how did you guys feel about how he performed on Friday, on Saturday? Whoever wants to start first.
I thought he was. Oh,
Go
Christine
ahead,
Bell?
Tracy.
Go ahead. Go
No,
ahead.
I was just going to say I'm going to tell you right now, straight up off the gate, is the only fight that I saw was on ESPN Top Rank, only because my schedule is really crazy and I got a lot going on this week. But so I missed it. So you ladies go, and I want to hear all about it.
It was a great fight. It was really impressive. I was impressed by him being so young. And he stopped him in the sixth round, and it was an
Yes.
8-rounder.
Yep.
I thought he did fantastic. I can't wait to see him again. I really thought he worked the ring well. He looked great.
Definitely, definitely. And Esmeralda, what do you think about it?
I'm in Tijuana, so sometimes they show some fights and they don't show like the full cards.
Uh-huh.
I've seen clips, but I like Diego Pacheco.
Yeah.
I follow
Like
him
him.
because I like his discipline. And I think the more fights he does, we're only going to see him like progress, and get to that level sooner or later.
Definitely. And as Tracy said, you know what? To me, he's one of my favorite young prospects coming up. He's been in camp with Canelo. He's sparred with Canelo. He's sparred with a lot of young, good young prospects and top level fighters. So I've had my eye on him for years. But this last fight, it was really impressive because he straight broke his opponent down. Like, and his opponent, you look at the
Absolutely
records,
he
you
did.
say whatever, but it wasn't a pushover at that stage of his career. And yeah, he really broke him down and finished him off. I believe 2 minutes into the sixth round. As Esmeralda, you said how he's getting older and how he's so young. I have a funny story about him. When Andy Reese fought Joshua the second fight, my dad had come over watching the fights, and he sees Pacheco walk into the ring, and he's like, "What's this young 18, 19-year-old kid doing fighting this grown man?" And his opponent was 32. Pacheco goes and knocks him unconscious. And my dad goes, "Why did they put that old man in there with that young, strong kid?" and and that's when, since then, it's been like, oh, he's always asking me, "Hey, when's Pacheco's next fight? When's he on?" So I like his style, I like his attitude, and as you said, he's very disciplined. He doesn't
Very.
cut corners. He's legit, and I think
That's
he's got
key.
a good future. And he's a big kid. He's only gonna get bigger.
Yeah, he's got a height and reach advantage, and I think
Yeah.
also he hasn't developed his full man strength.
hmm
But as soon as that comes in, he's going to be a big threat.
Exactly. And the other fight I'm gonna talk about on that card is Julio Cesar de Rey Martinez. That was a really interesting fight to who saw it. Um, they didn't care about defense. If you watch the fight, they really stopped caring about it. But it was fun. At that weight, I think it's 112. I think Martinez is probably looked at as the lesser of the four champions, but I think he has a lot of skills and he has power, and he could take a punch. So I'm very interested to see him maybe unify with one of the other guys. To who's seen it, what did you guys think of the fight?
I I'm a fan of his, and then there's things he does that just I'm like, oh come on, like
Uh,
don't lose that hunger you have. And then his last fight, I think I was like, and then he had the whole
mhm.
hand injury, which I was like, that rubbed me the wrong
I
way. But
I heard he was 20 pounds overweight, but I'll keep that to myself.
and then,
Keep it to yourself.
Just
but
like you
this
did.
time
You
around,
kept it to yourself.
this time around, I think he did good on a lot of aspects of it. It was more of a brawl. It reminded
Yes.
me of like watching Morales and Barrera. It was just like they were just going toe to toe, and
Mm.
for every shot that he would throw at him, Cesar Ray came back with like three
Yes.
punches. And you'd see him punch so hard that he got off the floor with his
Yeah.
punches. It was
Yeah.
hilarious.
It, I really liked
Wow.
it because yeah, it was he would get hit and he would smile, and I've always liked that from a fighter when it's genuine, not the ones where they smile like, "Oh, you didn't hurt me." I mean, his opponent
Which
really didn't
means
have
you
no
know they're
power.
hurt.
Yeah, but his opponent had no power, as evidenced by his 3 knockouts in
Mhm.
15 or 16 fights. But
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
but I mean, he was getting hit too. But I think once he realized he can't hurt me, it just turned into let's see who goes down, and eventually he broke his opponent down and got him out of there. Um,
He smiles, and I think there were
yes,
times where he smiles, but it's kind of like a compliment, like, "Okay, you got me, but I'm gonna
yeah,
get you back."
yeah,
And
because he would tell him, come on," and
Just
he would get
wait.
hit, and he was like,
yeah,
"Okay, good job." Like that's the
Yeah.
kind of fighters I like, the ones that
I
smile
like that.
to
Yeah, I
to be
like
like, "You
that.
got me, but I'm coming back." So I've always liked
that's
that
one of
about
my favorite
fighters.
weight classes. I love the flyweights and
Yes,
the mini moscas and all that. I love that weight class.
I could
Mhm.
watch those guys fight all day. Both
Yeah,
both
he
weights,
won
men and women.
the 6th round, right?
Yep, 6 round
Mhm.
stoppage as well.
Stoppage. That's
Nice.
what. Yeah, that
And
was really
now
good.
Nice.
we'll go to the next card. Christine, since you said you watched this one, we'll go into the ESPN card. What'd you guys think of the entire card? I was actually only able to really watch Lomachenko and Nakatani. I caught a couple of the other fights, bits and pieces. Giovanni Santain earlier in the day, I watched him. Thought he recovered well from what I thought was a loss against Antonio DeMarco when he last fought. Um, Besides that, what did you guys think of the card?
I watched because I'm friends with Robert Brandt and his
Oh,
wife,
that one
and
broke my heart.
yeah, it broke my heart. It did because Rob is so talented,
Hmm.
and I've seen him do amazing things in the amateurs and in the pros. Um, it just it didn't go his way at all,
Yeah.
um, and so it was really heartbreaking to watch. Um, we'll see what he does next. He's in good spirits. His wife was in good spirits. They're gonna have their first child, which I always worry about when she has to watch that. And
Yeah.
but she was good. She's a trooper. And then Lomachenko. I mean, he's back. I was on another show, actually Hispanics Causing Panic, and we were talking about it. And I was like, the last time I saw Lomo, he just didn't look himself. He didn't have the confidence that he usually does. He was kind of hiding, and I was just like, something's going on with him mentally. And then at the end of the fight, I was like, yeah, something's going on with him mentally. He's got Lopez on his mind.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't even worrying about who was in front of him, and he's not gonna worry about anybody else until he gets that rematch.
Yeah.
And then we all heard, which I don't know. His dad said, "Yeah, we're gonna do
Yeah.
it. What, in October or something?"
December.
I'm like, December,
Yeah.
okay. And I'm like, have you talked to your son?
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
so
he's
we'll
like, I
see
gotta
if the
talk to my
rematch
son
happens.
first.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So what'd you, Esmeralda, think of Lomachenko and
Loma.
Nakatani?
I didn't watch that fight because we don't get ESPN down here. We get
Yes.
it's like we win some, we lose some down here. But you know what? I did see. I used to actually the first gym I trained with, Giovanni was one of my teammates,
Mhm.
and he was actually my sparring partner back then because he was a southpaw, and we meshed well, so we would always spar together. But I saw clips of it. I haven't seen much progress from when we were in the amateurs. That last fight with
Uh,
DeMarco,
He lost.
I mean, he lost it.
Yeah.
From what I know, I think he signed that day with Top Rank.
Yeah.
So I
I
mean,
saw that. Yeah.
it's kind of one of those things where it's like DeMarco had lost before he even went into the ring, but yeah, Santillan, I think he needs to improve a lot. He needs to
Quickly.
improve a lot. Yeah.
The rate he's going,
but-
I could see him back on the Thompson cards real soon. No disrespect to Thompson, I got mad
No,
love
no,
for
no,
Thompson
but-
boxing, but yeah, to go from
Yeah.
being on Top Rank's
He's
cards
like, thanks a
to
lot.
drop that fast, I could see it happening.
Because he
looked
didn't
better,
gain
but
any
not that
fans.
great. Yeah,
He didn't gain fans from the DeMarco fight. If anything, people know him because they were like, you lost that fight.
you robbed it. Well, he didn't do it,
Ooh.
but yeah. So yeah, I mean, Tracy, what did you think about Lomachenko and Nakatani?
Guess who's Bazak? That's what I gotta say about that. I picked Nakatani to win. Boy, was I wrong. I was wrong. I did not expect that Lomachenko the cut on the head, but it was high up, and he's got a good cut man in the
Great cut
corner. And
man.
Yes.
yeah, did a great job where it was, bleeding in the first, and then that was it. You didn't see anything about it again.
Yes.
So I thought it was a spectacular performance by Lomachenko. I was impressed. Like, wow. Like, talking about night and day between from when he fought Lopez to, I'm like, wow.
Definitely.
He
Should we give a shout out
definitely
to the
earned that
translator?
fight.
Yes.
Shout out to the translator.
She sounded like she had some issues going on. Like she had to go to the bathroom, or she was like it was hurting for her to speak. It's like, we don't need to know.
Yeah. But
It's okay.
I agree with you guys. He did really well. I didn't think he was gonna lose. I did think he was gonna struggle though. I said it was gonna be a
I did
close, competitive decision. He would pull out
Yeah.
towards the end, and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
good fight. What he did, as hard as I still think it's gonna be to sell the rematch on pay-per-view, he put all
yeah.
the attention now on Teofimo. Teofimo has to show up against Kambosos, because if it looks bad, or if he doesn't look like the Teofimo we just seen, it's Lomachenko's going to school him. Lomachenko's going to do this. Do we really want to watch it? If Teofimo comes out and obliterates Kambosos, you got all the hype, because they'll say Lomachenko lost to Lopez, but beat up someone that Lopez struggled with. And then Lopez, in his first fight, does well. What I'm worried about for Lopez is how he's going to return from COVID, because so many fighters in that first fight after COVID, Esmeralda, I know
He had
I know people that can vouch for it, that he does have COVID.
I'm sure it's true.
He's not in Italy.
Yes.
He's not in Italy.
He's not in Italy. He had COVID. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I had heard things before. I know some of his people and this and that, and he had COVID 100%. He is not doing whatever they said he was doing.
Yeah.
He definitely has COVID.
Yeah,
He
I had
had
people.
COVID.
I had people texting me, and they're like, "Hey, don't believe it."
Yeah.
I thought it was his dad that said he was in Italy.
Somebody
said
he
that. It was
Probably
like,
did.
Yeah, it was his
I think
dad.
he did confirm it, but
he's not.
God bless
That was
his
the
dad.
plan.
He's
It was the plan after the fight to go to Italy with his family.
yeah.
You know what I see
Because I
though?
was like, well,
I see that the tables have turned. I feel like when Loma and Lopez fought, like it was a very different vibe, and now I feel like this time Lopez fighting Kambosos was like, I saw fear in his eye at times, like in interviews and certain moments, and I'm like, is he second guessing himself if he was to be in a rematch with Lomachenko? And especially after this spectacular comeback that he just showed everybody, like, hey, like Loma's back, like, is he gonna doubt himself and be like, maybe I'll do it, maybe I won't? I think they have to do it, but will they?
Yeah.
I honestly don't think
that's
they
really
have
nice
to.
For it.
I think
Yeah,
Lopez
they really
dominated
have
that first
to.
fight.
I do too.
Yeah,
But and honestly, he has nothing else to.
But
He has
there's-
nothing to prove. He does not have to fight him again. You know,
Yeah.
he could just keep
Mhm.
walking, and then Loma will forever be in his room, thinking about it, beating himself up, woulda, coulda, shoulda. And there's nothing he's going to be able to do. It's totally up to Lopez on what he wants to do. And if I were him, honestly, it is too risky, and he's already beat him. Keep going.
Yep.
Move on.
Unless they offer some big, big bucks.
Yep. And
Then
they
it
probably
changes
will.
everything.
And they probably, yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
I think they will, yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think in a rematch, I think Lopez knocks him out. I just
I
personally
think
feel that.
Lopez wins again.
Yeah, because I
do.
think Lomachenko will go in more aggressive and will get caught by something.
Yes. Careless.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Because he knows he's not going to
Absolutely.
beat him the way he thought he was going to do it last time.
Absolutely. He'd have to change his game plan, and he's going to think that he has to attack him, and Lopez does have real power.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Yes, he does. Yes.
So
Absolutely.
So
He
I
is
think
no
Lomachenko
joke.
looked good, but I still think he loses to Lopez in the rematch.
I agree with you.
All right. Now let's
do.
talk about the other card. PBC
That I
Showtime.
missed.
Davis and Barrios. Great card. Honestly, I really enjoyed all the fights on that card. Shout out to Carlos Adames. What a freaking knockout. Perfectly placed left hand jumping in against Alexis Salazar. That was beautiful. My guy Erickson Lubin. I've been high on him too since
That was a good fight.
2015.
Lubin, yeah.
I'm glad he won.
Very impressed
I
by
didn't
him.
see that.
And obviously Tank Davis. But let's start off with Erickson Lubin and Jason Rosario. I'm gonna go out first. Something is really, really wrong with Rosario because that man cannot take a body shot for his life. That is the second fighter that has touched him to the body where he looks like he's gonna have convulsions. But Lubin did his thing. I love how he's worked with Cunningham since going with him, and he put on a great performance. And he's
Great
building
trainer,
himself
Cunningham.
up to that conversation of what happens if he fights Charlo again. How did you guys see the fight of Lubin and Rosario?
I'll just say I didn't see it, but I saw that he won, and I was very happy. I have to go back and watch highlights, so
He did really good.
I'm out.
Esmond, let's go with you.
I was really into it, and Lubin fought with such he had a lot of technique and strategy, and I was just like, and every time he'd punch him, and it just looked, not only was it a good shot, but it was a strong shot, and I'm like,
Yeah.
if Rosario's team doesn't help with some endurance on his body, then every boxer's gonna know moving forward, body shots, body shots, body shots, because he's kind of already labeled like that, and if it doesn't improve, everyone's gonna go and just throw body shots at him.
Especially at the
Crunches.
high level, the elite level, he's gonna get worked. Tracy, what did you think of it?
I didn't see the fight. I did refuse to buy it, and I get a little a little nervous about streaming because I'm like, all these things.
You don't want to be
pop up and I'm
arrested.
Yeah, that's only Dana White. That's only Dana
They're gonna
White.
knock at
It's
your
that-
door.
See,
They're gonna get you.
It's
we
that
got
old
that for
lady,
free
like-
here.
Yes, Mexico
Y'all
gets
get
all the pay-per-views for free.
pay-per-views free. Yes.
Yes,
It
But we
should
didn't get
be-
the
it
last
should be
Munguia
for free.
fight.
but that was on the zone.
They didn't show it in Mexico.
I know, but that's
Hmm.
uh,
I just wrote down everybody who won, and I just watched highlights of Davis and Barrios.
Barrio.
yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, well,
That was
well,
a great fight.
There were
I'll
so
ask-
many fights.
I'll ask Esmeralda, how did you see that fight? Because I loved it, and it actually went exactly how I predicted, except one round further. I said 10th round body shot stoppage. It went 11 rounds, so I was on it.
Okay.
So how'd you see it?
At first, I was like, okay, really good fight. I started to get worried around like the 5th, 6th, 7th round. Barrios was he was taking those hits, and he did not want to give up.
Yeah.
Like he didn't want the fight stopped, and he didn't want to be maybe known as that, but it just became where I was like, man, like just quit already because you're really taking these punches. And Gervonta he started kind of chill, and then all of a sudden what I noticed this time around, he's really calm when he's punching.
Mhm.
But he's really calm, but he throws those shots with so much power.
Yes, and I thought
Absolutely.
going into the ninth round when they made that big fuss about Mayweather telling him, "Hey, you're down,"
Mm.
I had him down at that point in the fight. I had Barrios winning by 1 point, um, and then Davis he did what he had to do, and what he was asked to do. But yeah, he's so calm, so cool under pressure, and
Yeah.
he doesn't get
I
out of
think
his
that,
game.
that
He just stays.
I think that really like
Mentally,
lit him
Yeah.
up though
Yes.
when May said,
Yeah.
you know, you're down, you're not, you're down. I just thought when he went out there and after he just like exploded because he was fairly slow for the first 5-6 rounds, like, and he just like boom, boom, like it was just crazy. To go back to my
Was
notes,
he
sorry.
taking a lot of shots? I saw some things on Twitter that he was taking some shots.
He has a
Was
chin.
Davis taking some shots?
He does.
He has a chin.
But the thing is, over time, taking all those shots, I mean, just not good.
He
Yeah.
did say after the fight he was a little worried about getting hit because of how big Barrios is, and no, he didn't know would I get hurt. So I like the fact that
Right.
he's honest. He was like, I was nervous.
Absolutely.
So I love when a fighter's honest because you're gonna fight, dude. You could
You
get knocked
see it
out at any
anyway.
point. Yeah, you could get knocked out.
Right.
So be honest. Hey, he could knock me out. I can lose this fight.
Yeah.
And I love that he said it because he admitted it. Like, hey, but he took. I want to say it was either the 9th or 10th round. He kind of lunged in and got countered by a left hook by
Yeah,
Barrios.
it was the 9th round.
And I thought he was going down. And you would have thought a fly just whooshed across his face because he just kept walking like nothing. I was like, okay, it's over. Like, at that point, I was like, if that's not gonna at least wobble him, he's gonna stop him. The 10th round was a great round, and the 5th round was a great one. Those two were.
I'm gonna have to go back.
Yes.
So
The
what did y'all
height
think
difference,
about?
The height difference, yes.
The height difference was so bad that I think he tried to do all his slips, right? Like he tried to weave and bob and get under those hits, but it didn't work to his advantage like usual because Barrios was just so tall, so the punches were coming from different angles and directions, and he would have like such a little space to barely move, but I think he felt also like he just didn't move as well because the guy was so tall with some long arms.
Yes, and he's strong. Barrios is a strong guy too.
Yeah.
What did y'all think about what Mayweather said? That Davis was only going to fight on PBC or Mayweather Promotions. So what does that mean? And only their guys. So like, what does that mean?
That's actually what I was talking to you about earlier. So here we go. I am ready. I am ready to get this heat and this hate. I'm ready to get this heat and this hate. I kind of wish Nika was here
because she's. And the takeover has begun.
I wish Nika was here because she's usually the one that pumps me up for this. But so Leonard Allaby, I love the man. Great dude. He's been very respectful to me. He did say, "What does Josh Taylor, Jose Ramirez, all these guys? What do they bring to the table? Right? World champions, former world champions, all that. That's a lot to bring to the table." But he said they bring nothing financially, right? And then all the PBC fans and all of the Tank Davis and Mayweather people said, he's right, blah, blah, blah. What do they bring financially? So let me say this. What does Boo Boo Andrade bring to Canelo financially? Not a damn fucking thing, so I don't ever want to hear you guys say that Canelo's dunking him ever again. Canelo's not ducking him. Golovkin's not ducking him. And Charlo is not ducking him. Don't ever mention that again if you're saying that it's okay for Tank to avoid, or not avoid, but to say none of these guys bring anything to him financially. Boo Boo don't bring a damn thing financially to those guys, so don't ever put Canelo in that same category. Simple as that.
Nobody wants to see that. Nobody.
I would love to see Boo Boo in there with them, but if we're going to go off of financials, he doesn't bring anything to it. No, I'm saying he deserves a shot as a champion, but financially, going off of what they said, he doesn't bring a damn thing to it. So,
agree.
I don't like the whole he's only fighting PBC, Mayweather, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But I'd rather hear that now than us thinking, hey, he might fight Teofimo, and
Right.
we get
Who's
pumped,
that? Right.
we get pulled into it, and
Right.
then he's gonna fight Leo Santa Cruz too, or something like that. You
So
know,
we
and
know straight out the gate.
yeah, I'd rather hear that.
I mean, look at Errol Spence. Look at Errol
Yes.
Spence, and I love Errol Spence. I've known him since he was a kid. I love him. Who's he fighting? He's not fighting anybody from the other side of the street. Like, come on, you know.
Exactly. So,
What are they doing?
but I will give credit to Spence that he has come out now and said after Pacquiao, it's only Crawford that he wants.
Oh yes,
and I
absolutely.
definitely believe him.
Now that Crawford is getting older,
Mhm.
and I love Crawford and I love Spence, but now that he's getting older, and who you know, Crawford, they named 3 guys that he was going to fight possibly, and I forget who he's going to fight.
Jose Ramirez,
it's like,
Chon
I
Cepeda,
was-
and Regis Prograis.
Yes,
Give me
Yes.
Regis.
I think it's Cepeda. So yeah, Regis would be a great fight.
Cepeda, yeah.
And Regis has no respect for anybody. He'll fight anybody. He really will. That's just who he is. And like I said, I love both those guys, but I wanted to see that fight like a year or 2 ago. You know, like I'm not as fired up anymore. You know, but of course I'm gonna watch it if it happens. But you know, the flames kind of died a little bit.
Going to your point about Regis, in Fresno, one of Jose Ramirez's fights, Regis and Crawford were there, and let me just say, they don't like each other. They really don't. And
Yeah, I can believe that.
I had a front row seat to them talking. It was freaking
Ooh.
glorious. So
You didn't have your phone out? What's wrong with you?
there were some dudes
Freaking
fighting to the side of us, and we were focused on that too. But no,
I
like
gotcha.
yeah, no, I was sitting there and I'm like, oh, and they're like, break them up. I'm getting in between those guys. You out of your mind? Hell no.
No.
I'm just
You
sitting
don't
there
get
listening to
kicked in the
him.
face again?
Yeah, both of them was like, I bet you I can knock you out. I'll bet you can't. I'll slap you right here. I was like,
Yeah.
I was
See,
like, do it,
They're
do it.
both of the same temperament.
Yeah.
Yes, I've been around them both. Like I said, neither one of them have respect for anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And then I know Bud, he is so competitive and like anything that he does. And then Regis, he's just like, no, not worried
Right.
about you. Fight anybody.
Exactly.
That would be a good scrap. I
Yes.
would like that.
I would love it. The Cepeda fight, as of now that they said nothing's official, Bob Arum is
Yeah.
actually coming into town to speak to Jose Ramirez this week about that possibility of Crawford. Personally, love Jose. He's from my hometown. I don't want to see it right now because I need him to beat somebody. Like, that's just
Right. He
my
needs to tune up.
I've always thought if you lose a fight, you can't jump back into a title fight unless you win somewhere else. Like, you have to beat somebody
True.
to get a title fight.
True.
Yeah.
So
But you know,
Yeah.
it makes a lot of sense that they would be talking to Jose Ramirez. That does make a lot of sense if you just think back on the way things have been going.
Mhm.
That makes sense. And I've been talking to some of his people, Crawford's people, and they're like, "Oh, you know, it's going to be somebody, and it's going to be, yeah." So I it makes sense now. I'm like, my brain is like, okay,
and
all right.
and depending on where it would be, that would be, it would sell out. If it's in Omaha,
Absolutely.
sells out. If it's in Fresno, sells out.
Oh,
Easily.
absolutely.
Either one of those places, it sells out.
Easily.
And
Money in the bank.
yeah, so it makes sense. So,
And
He needs
I
a
will be
tune-up
there.
fight before that, though.
yes, I
Because
agree.
I know he
I
just
think
had
he does too.
he just had a baby. His
Yes.
I know his home life is kind of slowly changing in different directions, and that affects your training. That affects you mentally,
Yeah.
and he's still kind of
does.
he's still hurt from his loss. So he needs to maybe have 1 fight, maybe 2 fights, just as tune-ups, and then go for that.
My
I
Because
honest
it's too
understand.
opinion,
risky.
rematch Chon. Go out there and maybe you beat him up, and then okay, let's see you rematch Josh or get Crawford then. But I need this. I just can't vouch for someone getting a title shot off of a
Yeah.
loss at a different
Oh,
weight at that. Maybe if it was the same weight,
Absolutely.
maybe the same weight class,
Absolutely.
I'd be okay. But you can't move up to one of the best pound for pound fighters in the world and get a shot at him after you just lost.
Yeah, mentally he's not going to be okay until he has a win or two.
Yeah.
He's not.
So
He's got to get his confidence back,
Yeah.
and he's got to get his fans to
Absolutely.
believe in him. and that's what's gonna hype him up for that. But it's a
Yeah,
long
and that's where
road.
the two
Yeah.
reps will come in and
Yeah, one or two fights and
do
he's fine.
that.
One or two fights and then I'm cool with it. I'll take it. Personally,
Yeah.
You know, even if he had
Okay.
lost to Josh, but given a great fight, I'd be like maybe. But it didn't look good.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, and me and Christine, we were in Vegas, so we seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. It
Before the fight, we saw. I mean, you saw something, that it wasn't quite right.
uh, um
You know.
I've been around Jose since I would say maybe his seventh or eighth fight. As I said, he's from my hometown, so I've been to all of his fights here. I've been to everything, so he didn't look off, but he once he said that before the fight where he said I want to break Josh's head or his face, I said okay, this isn't Jose. I was like Josh is in his head. That's an effect now, and
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
come fight,
Mm.
he was
I
trying
just
so hard to knock
noticed.
him out.
I noticed when we were there, for the weigh-ins, and he was very breathy, answering questions. His lips were very chapped. His voice was very hoarse, which goes along with,
It was.
dehydration. So that's when I was like, okay, this is not good, because I've heard him in previous interviews and seen him previously, and he was kind of, you saw that Garcia was trying to like get him out of there,
Yeah.
So I was like, something's up.
Uh.
He's not at weight, and he's already dehydrated.
Yeah, and as I said,
He
then-
looked malnutritioned.
Uh,
He just
I-
didn't look healthy.
we expected him to come in maybe right at it or over, and he came in under
Yeah.
by about a few ounces, and I kind of thought that's maybe not the best thing because
Right.
yeah, like I've seen him in other fights and
Went
He's-
overboard.
he's eating on the way in or drinking water
Yeah.
on the way in, and I'm like, oh, he has no fear. And this time, yeah, it was as soon as it
Yeah.
was done. And then, like I said, Josh being in his head because Jose is not that type of fighter that's gonna tell you, I'm gonna knock
He's
your
usually
ass
very
out.
humble.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
like, oh, thank you, and he's like, I'm gonna knock him out. I'm
Yes.
gonna break his face. I was like, oh, man,
Yeah.
okay. So I knew Josh had got in there, and then he still fought well to me, but you could see the game plan that he had was messed up because he wanted to hurt Josh, and Josh was like, "Oh, you're falling
Yeah.
in my trap."
He was struggling a little bit.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen. Usually, he's more in a killer mode.
Mhm.
And but he does what he has to do, and he struggled in some
Yeah.
rounds.
Yes, and
Like you said, Mike, I think just mentally, things got to him this time around. His team, the chaos around them, everything, and I think that just kind of messed him up.
yeah, that
The
weigh-in
fight in the
scuffle.
hotel.
Yes.
Yeah, it was
oh
crazy.
my
Yeah.
god. I had people asking me. I was like, I don't know what's going on. Leave me
Did
alone.
you see it? Were you
Yes,
there?
I was there.
Yeah, I came up after. They're like, "Be careful! There's a fight in the hallway," and I'm just like, "Oh, for real?" We're like,
Yeah,
"What's going on?"
I was there, and then I was like,
A fight.
I was like, oh, let me go back over and
Going towards it.
Yeah.
Towards it.
I was talking to
Free
Tim Bradley
fight.
after it. I was like, "Did you see everything?" He goes, "I heard," and I was like, "Oh no, we were right there." So yeah, it was,
Yeah.
and that's one where I tell people do the let's push each other around all that. No, this was real because Jose doesn't.
Yeah,
do
this
that.
was real.
Yeah, Jose doesn't do
Yeah.
that, so that was real.
Yeah. It was real.
Yeah, it was crazy. Now I'm gonna say something that I heard earlier, only because I got you guys on and I want your opinions on
It's a
this fight.
rumor.
What would you guys think of Mikey Garcia and Tank Davis?
I think that Tank would. I love Mikey. I love him. He's been very inactive. I've seen him. He's got a promotional company and he comes to Dallas
Yeah.
quite often. So I see him on a regular. And he's not
In shape?
in fight shape.
No, I've
He's
seen him
more
in
of
Vegas.
dad bod. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
But I like
Dad
him a lot. He's a great guy.
yeah,
And I don't really think that he's in it anymore. I think that he wants to do other things. That's why he started to venture out in promotion. Maybe he'll fight a couple more times, just to put some more money in the bank or whatever. But I think that he could get really hurt by Tank. Tank is a little monster,
Yes, definitely.
my opinion.
He's had his
Definitely has
promotions
power.
like down here in Tijuana,
Yeah.
and like Christine says, I like Mikey. I saw him in the amateurs. I think I like him as a fighter, but I think
Uh-huh.
now he's a great promoter. He can, maybe, I don't know if he's coaching or not, but I think where he's going now as a commentator, as a promoter, it's like stick to that.
Yeah.
I don't want to see you fight
Yeah.
Pacquiao. I don't want to see you fight Davis.
Yeah.
You know, like you're
Yeah.
you're building your own brand, and continue that.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Plan B.
Continue planning your future.
Okay. Because that's just what I was told.
I
that
don't
was
want to see that
discussed.
fight.
All right.
I don't
So-
either. I like Mikey too much. I don't want to see him get hurt.
So who would you guys
Yeah.
like to see Tank fight? If there's no promotional issues there.
If there's no promotional issues, I think that
David
Tio
Haney's a
and-
free agent.
I think that would be a wash. I think that
Haney?
he would walk through Haney.
Really?
I do. I think Haney
I'd like to
is
see
a
it,
very
though.
skilled boxer. He's not a puncher. Davis, I've
But not
seen
power.
him box and punch. So I think that it would be a wash.
Okay. How do you guys see that one going if that was to happen?
It's two type
I don't
of different
know.
fighters. I mean, I think Davis would take it, but I think it would be not as interesting to me.
Okay.
It'd be a waltz, a dance.
Did you
You know.
guys
little guys,
read or
yeah.
hear on Twitter? I think I read the matchup of, because he's only in house, the matchup of Raleigh and Davis.
I would love to see that for the trash talk.
Did you guys hear that?
I heard that.
Right. That's what it would be, trash talk.
Yeah.
That's what
They
it
don't
would
get
be,
along.
back and forth.
They really don't get along.
Yeah, and yeah, that's.
No.
I would watch it. I wouldn't pay
Yeah.
for it. I wouldn't do a no pay-per-view, but I would watch that.
We met Raleigh,
I think
and he was a fighter
Yeah.
I thought I wasn't gonna like, but he is
Yeah.
He's a
such
great
a
dude.
cool dude,
Yeah.
so friendly.
yeah,
And I was like, damn,
He's
how
funny.
can I
Yeah.
not like him?
He's funny.
because in the camera he wants to be very showy and everything, but then I mean, he was actually, where was he? It was in Dallas at I think it was the Hooker fight or something. And I saw him there, and he's real showy. He loves the camera and his jewelry and clothes and everything. And then we saw him in the lobby, and he's just a nice guy.
Yeah.
Super humble, so
Yeah.
nice.
He is.
Yeah, he's
He
a
is.
good dude.
Now, Davis is not humble,
Yes.
but he is.
Yeah. I mean, that would be
Yeah.
like I said. The trash talk would be off the chain in that
Oh
fight.
yeah, that would be good. The build up. Yeah.
And then
It's going to be interesting to see who Mayweather is going to match with. After, I don't know what the hell's going on with this, with Mayweather, and saying he's only going to fight these guys. And
what weight is he going to be at? Is my question.
Yeah. What weight?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
That's my
I mean,
question.
didn't they say
Davis-
130?
I don't think he could do
I think he
130
should
no
go
more.
down. Davis actually
don't-
said that he
I-
was.
I don't think
Nervous.
so.
Even though he's short,
Moving
I don't
up.
think he can.
He can't do 130.
I think Davis said that he was nervous moving up to 140 because, and so he was concerned with
He should be.
Barrios.
Mhm.
And so he was just, I think he should go back down. I really do. I think he should.
Yeah, but I don't think he can make
If he
130 no more.
can, I mean, he's gotten older. He's got a lot of muscle. I don't think he can. I
Yeah.
really don't.
Yeah.
It's going to be very difficult. And I don't want to see him malnutrition to the point where,
Yeah.
Right.
like every other boxer,
Right.
they're trying to
He
cut
would
that
have to
weight
start
and
now
they end
for
up
his
not
next
performing.
fight, I think.
Yeah.
I
And,
mean, it just, yeah, I don't know what he is when he's not fighting, So he's 140. Was that easy for him to be 140? Is that a normal
165.
size that he is?
I've
Is
heard
it-
rumors of what he gets up to, and
I'm
Say
guessing
it.
165. Am I off? Am I way off? So higher? Oh, shite. 180? He's too short. That's crazy.
Jeez.
Oh
That's
my.
all I'm gonna say. That's all I could say.
Okay.
I'm not gonna go
Jump
deeper into
up.
that. But
Okay. Okay.
you remember when we seen AB outside of camp and all that?
Whoa.
Yeah,
Okay.
similar,
Say less.
but
Okay. Okay.
but lately, from what I've been told, because this was maybe a year ago when I was told this, lately he's been a lot better. So I will say that he
Roner?
hasn't been to that
I
high.
saw more discipline in him preparing for this fight than I have in a while, honestly.
His last two fights,
Um,
honestly, because with Santa Cruz he did
I've seen more.
3 or 4 month camp, I believe, for Santa Cruz as well.
Okay,
So-
well that's smart. And I remember Tank from the JOs. Like he was a little bitty kid, and I was going to nationals and watching him. And he was always a little brat, and he was always really cocky, and he always talked a lot of mess. I remember I think he lost. He got like a silver medal or something. And I remember him throwing the medal or the trophy in the trash, and because he was so mad, and his coach the next day, so he had to come back the next day and like apologize, for doing that. So he's always been a little firecracker. Let's just say that.
Yeah, and I mean he's got the temperament though that sells. That's the thing. It's gonna sell no matter
Absolutely.
what. So
Definitely.
Yeah, he
His
did
fan
some
base is
funky
strong.
dance at the beginning of, I don't know what round it was.
It's when he
All I
dropped
know
him.
is
in the 8th round, after the first
when
knockdown.
he-
His famous backflip.
Yeah.
Always does the backflip.
Oof.
So
And he-
I
I
was
hope there
scared
was a
when he did that
photographer that
backflip.
got a good picture of that.
Yeah, I was scared when he did that. I was like, please don't blow your knees out. I'm older, so
I know.
I was like,
Yeah,
don't,
I was like,
don't,
oh my
no.
God, but,
My knees and my back started cramping up on me when I seen him flip. I was like, no.
Right.
So, but yeah, he did
So
land
when
it.
he did this pelvic thrust thing, that
Yeah.
was the beginning of the
It
11th.
was no, the 8th round. That's when he knocked down Barrios. I want to say the first time.
The first time, yeah, because he landed only in the first 4 rounds. It was really slow. He landed only like what 11.
It was a
That
few
sounds
punches
horrible.
around he was landing. Only it was
Yeah.
once the 5th round started, they went at it after that.
Yeah,
Wow. I'm gonna have
I
to go
saw
back and
Barrios
watch that
land-
fight.
I saw Barrios land a couple like right hooks that were solid and it looked like they were strong, and
Yeah.
Davis just like
Yeah.
didn't even flinch.
Wow.
Was insane.
The one that we talked about, that left hook, if you watch it and you see it, when especially because he's moving forward when he gets hit. I mean, I've seen guys get hit moving forward. Well, just that MTK card on Friday when the guy came forward and got hit with the left hook and he fell straight down. That's what I thought might have happened, and he like got hit and just kept walking. I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. So
That's insane.
yeah, so he's got a
because
very
he
very
dropped
solid
Barrios 3 times.
yeah. 4, well,
The
3.
right hook, a straight left. Nice.
Okay, we got Santoya Mia
Yeah, I
saying
definitely
what's
want to see
up.
that one.
Marisol, Angel David Castro, and Alda Boxing all saying what's up.
Oh, Angel, hey.
Oh.
He's letting you know as well. Santoya saying there's nothing wrong with Dad Box,
Oh,
Christine.
sorry, baby. You know what? You're absolutely right. I love dad bods. My husband has the most sexy dad bod there is. I love him.
So yes, now
That's why they make dad hats.
exactly. So now
Man.
I want to talk about this guy that's going to fight Saturday. Also a favorite of mine, Chris Colbert. Do you see him as a possible challenge to Tank, because we talk about in-house and everything, and he's 130,
Ooh,
right?
I like it. I like that. I like
Who's Colbert
that matchup.
fighting?
King, I can't say that last name because that's sounds really weird for a guy to say.
To call him King.
No, the second
It's
part.
2021.
No, the second part. I'll say King Tug. Okay, that doesn't sound cool to call another man
King Tug.
because I can't say his last name
So
for.
is that a family name?
No, it's Tug. I don't know. He's Filipino, I believe. But yeah.
Okay.
They just call him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they call him King Tug. He's a tough fighter, though. I mean, I'll give him that. He's
Yeah.
way better than fighting Gamboa. Because Gamboa is at the point where
Poor
it's let's pass him
Gamboa.
around.
He's like the
and
ex-girlfriend that gets passed around. I'm
Yes.
like, Gamboa, Let's stop. It's over.
Gamboa
And I like
and
him.
Samuel Vargas.
Yeah.
I feel like they just get
It-
swung
Oh
around.
no. I don't even
That's
know
the
Samuel
hardest
Vargas
thing,
was
though, is
still
for a fighter to
fighting.
let go.
Well, he's the one that lost to what's his name's son, Nigel Benn.
Ugh.
Yeah, so he's been passed around through Danny Garcia.
Passed around.
Well, Danny Garcia, Nigel
Yes,
Benn,
yeah, like
Giorgio
the
Ortiz,
ex-girlfriend that gets
Yeah.
passed around.
and that's
in
how
the
I feel
group.
they do to Gamboa right now.
Yeah,
Crawford,
absolutely.
Tank,
Yeah.
Haney,
So true.
and it was gonna be Colbert too. So
They have no friends to say, okay, look, guys,
just
you
stop.
gotta sit down.
Yeah.
Enough is enough, okay?
So
Yeah. It's
Now-
so hard, though. You should, for a fighter
For
to
a
just
fighter,
go.
yeah,
to-
absolutely. I mean, they got it. This is the one they're gonna win. They're gonna come back on top. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But like I said, they have
Yeah.
no real friends. They have
Yep.
yes men around them that aren't telling them the truth.
exactly.
No, you're done.
Right,
Sit
right.
down. You got your money. Let's invest. Do something else. Promoting,
Yeah.
matchmaking, coaching, whatever.
Training. Yeah, something. Yeah.
They need
Yeah.
real friends. Period.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I
Now-
think we need better boxing commentators. We need better guys that previously
Oh,
fought, the
girl.
guys that have the
Absolutely.
knowledge. I mean,
The zone.
no,
That's all up.
Put some females on there.
I
Holly
don't
Lawson
want to.
said she
I'll
wants
tell
to
you
be
who
a
I think is a
commentator.
badass is Christina Poncher.
Definitely.
She is a badass. Like
She
Yeah,
is
she
that's
is,
my girl. She
legit. Yep.
legit. Absolutely.
I've told her that. I've had her on
Chris
the show before, and I told
Mannix
her.
needs to go.
Chris Mannix is
I did not want to mention his name, but thank you for mentioning.
no, he's ridiculous.
God, I cannot.
I'll do the dirty work.
Cannot.
Chris Mannix. I always give him shit on
Thank
Twitter,
you.
too. I'm like, dude, really? Did you really just say that? I'm like, dude, that makes no sense.
Yeah.
Dude, what are you saying?
At
What are you
all.
talking? I constantly at him. And I'm like, Holly Lawson wants your job. She deserves it. She knows what she's talking about. We need females in there.
See, Jackie Nava's a commentator
Oh,
down here when
In
I-
Mexico,
for,
yeah.
for the Zamper fights.
Yeah.
She's
Oh.
amazing, and
Oh,
but they
is
never let her talk too much.
Yeah.
And I've told her, I'm like, just grab the mic.
I
She's
can't
like, no, they
stand
don't let
that.
me talk too much. And I'm like,
Oh, wow.
Didn't she do when Chavez fought Arce?
mm-hmm.
And yeah, I would remember she was talking. I'm like, dude, she's smarter than some of these guys on here. Because they had like
Wow.
12
She's-
people on there.
She's a realist.
Yeah, they had like 12
Yeah, she
people
says
talking
it.
the whole time.
Yeah, she says it coming from a fighter. Like, she says it in different ways, but she's also not, if she's a huge Chavez fan, she's not just talking great about him. She's talking about both sides, everything that's going on. And they always cut her off. They always like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, take the mic,
Well-
just take it. And he's like, I can't.
It's like I understand when you work for a certain network, you know, you have to like do certain things or whatever, but we don't want to hear that. We don't want to hear the
Yes.
bias. We want to hear the real. You know,
Yeah.
when
Yes.
the saying is you know, well somebody lands a shot, the network guys, but then they never even talk about the opponent, even though he lands good shots or whatever, because Nakatani landed some good shots too, but you didn't hear anything about that. You know?
Exactly,
And
yeah.
all
Yeah.
you heard is Lomo,
He definitely
Lomo,
did.
Lomo. That's why I also liked and loved Chris Algieri
Mhm.
because to me he was a realist.
Yes.
He like talked about what was really going on. He was not biased.
Yeah.
And I miss that.
Yes.
You know, I want to see that.
Definitely.
I like
I
Jesse
thought
Vargas
Paul
commentating
Malignaggi
this
was
weekend.
very good, too.
Oh, yeah, he did really well.
I liked it. I was
Jesse
like,
does good,
I
yeah.
can get used to Jesse being on the mic.
Yes.
Yeah.
They
Wait, who was it?
Jesse Vargas on the zone.
hmm
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
You can
Yeah.
tell. You can tell he felt awkward at sometimes because
Yeah.
the commentaries were something that were like not true, and he's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sure, why not?
He's like, okay.
I watched up to a certain
like,
point,
sure.
and then I put it in Spanish because I just can't with the zone sometimes. I just really
Yeah,
can't.
I'm with
So
you. I'm
um,
with you.
with
Yeah,
the
they suck
Loma
balls.
fight, yeah, man, I loved him. I love Andre Ward, but oh my God, you would have thought Lomachenko was the second coming of God that night. The way they talked about him, it was
Yes.
it's frustrating.
Absolutely.
But I
It's a
can
little-
say
it's
it's
a
not
little
just
much.
that because the MTK card on Friday, the same thing with Ricardo Sandoval and I can't remember his name, but it was on ESPN Plus. Every time Sandoval would throw a punch or land something, oh, but did you see the counter that was coming? No, I seen him get his ass rocked by Sandoval.
Right. Exactly.
I seen Sandoval land a punch, and the other guy throw and miss. Oh, he was so close. It was like, my God. But then I'm noticing, yeah, as you said, it's so much bias, and it's not just one card. I mean,
so much
you
bias.
see it on every single fight card, on every single. Yeah,
Absolutely. And boxing heads, they can recognize it, but just like the average like couch boxing fan, they're just like, oh yeah. I mean, the commentators can persuade those kind of people to who's winning or who's landing the most shots when it's not true.
Just
clearly
as
sometimes
the crowd can influence the judges.
Easily swayed.
Yeah.
They'll say,
Absolutely.
ooh, and then you're like, what happened?
Yeah.
And there
Like,
wasn't
oh,
even
there's
like a shot
something,
thrown.
Yeah.
Even if it's blocked,
He just missed that
Yeah.
punch. Then why'd you make a sound? Like,
Ooh,
why do you?
that would have hurt.
Had he landed it,
So
had he
strong.
landed,
And he had landed.
The
ooh.
MTK commentators,
are terrible.
it was horrible.
Yes, I'm telling you. I was like, Sandoval would land a punch, he would throw one back. Oh, he just threw it back, but he missed. Like, and I think it was finally when he got the last body shot, they were like, oh, he's not getting up from that. I'm like, yeah, finally, man, you guys admit it.
Yeah.
And to that,
Did you watch
congratulations to
the main
Sandoval.
event?
Yeah.
Well, a good friend of ours is Willie, and at first they were talking good about him, and then as the fight went on, and then they were like, oh, like they totally took back pretty much everything they said, and I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Still give the guy the
Wow.
credit for beating him there.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
And I almost forgot whoever's seen yesterday's cards on Fox and
I didn't even
Casares?
realize. I was so upset.
Casares.
I didn't know that there was a fight.
I remember
They're calling
only
him-
because I got the email the night before, and I was like, oh, that's right. they are
I
having
probably
the
did
card.
too, but I didn't check my
Knockout.
email.
First round.
That was vicious.
I was like,
Morale. I'm still not
Mhm.
completely sold on Morale because, I mean, Casares got his name by beating Chavez, and I think I could beat Chavez Jr. at this point.
I think I
we
could.
all can.
Yeah. So
I think let's make some money.
yeah.
Let's
So
make some money, guys.
Exhibitions.
yes, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, it depends. Is
It was-
Chavez
it was
going to come in
brutal.
close to weight?
I mean, is Chavez gonna wear higher heels than I do?
Oh. Oh man. Oh,
Who knows?
But it was
night
brutal.
that
at the Chavez fight.
was terrible. He went down in a heap. I thought he was gonna break his leg the way he fell.
I didn't even watch it. I just couldn't
Oh,
participate in that.
if you
It's
see
like I
it,
just can't.
it's
Just couldn't do it.
very nasty. But those fights were actually really good. The first one,
Mhm.
Relámpago
The
Juarez
undercard.
and Ali Rivera was a really good fight.
Okay.
Rivera got the majority decision, I believe. The knockdown, it was in the 8th round, pretty much put him up there. He also put off a great MMA takedown in the middle of the fight as well against Juarez. But it was
Was
a
this
pretty good fight.
boxing or?
No, it was funny because I had just left the room to go get something, and my fiance screams, "Babe, babe!" And I'm like, "What? You missed it." I'm like, "What?" She goes, "This is boxing, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "This guy just took him down, like lifted him off the ground, and I thought they were gonna street fight."
What?
And I'm like, "What?" And then I seen it later. I was like, he didn't even tell him anything.
Are we on the right channel?
Yeah, I was like, he didn't even say anything to him. He just took him down. But okay, man, whatever. The next fight, though, that cruiserweight fight was, man, fight of the year at this point. They,
Oh wow.
yeah,
Okay,
if
I gotta see
you
it
got to
now.
see that one because
Fight of the year.
I don't know if
Yesterday?
I don't know if it's that they don't have power or they have that good of chin, but they were
Uh-huh.
bombing on each other and
Right,
took them
both.
all, and it was like, yeah, it was a great
Okay.
fight. I mean, I loved it. So then I was hyped up, and then Casa just goes down in the first round off of 2 punches. So it was kind of like, oh, all right, whatever.
But
Wow.
right after on Saturday, it was there was one woman fight over the weekend
Yeah.
that was Yamileth Mercado versus I think Rascon from Texas.
Yeah,
Texas got some good
Oh, I
fighters.
missed
She was.
it. We do.
I personally
that was
think
a Zanfer card, right?
Rascon won. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
we watched some of that.
Zanford, they have great cards.
Yes, I love their cards.
But
Me too.
man, Yamileth, she gave a headbutt. It was like a big
Yeah.
gag right here. She was just.
Ooh, I gotta see it.
It wasn't even stopped, but it was leakage. And personally, I just
Oh.
think she outboxed and did everything over. She got robbed, but
Yeah,
it is what it is.
Oh.
But
yeah.
Texas has
So
some
what
good
did y'all,
fighters.
what did y'all think? So this is like an old fight from the week before, because I did not see the Marlene Esparza fight, but everybody thought that she did not really win. Did y'all see that fight, Marlene
Yes.
Esparza? What is this? Say it.
Why are you
Say
doing that?
it.
I'm not the biggest Marlon fan. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay. Okay.
But
That's okay.
You know, a lot.
She got dropped.
A lot of people. Okay. Okay.
but you know what? Boxing wise, I don't hate her. It's her personality because I've
Right.
been told
Yeah.
by a lot of people the way she is.
I've heard it before.
But
yeah.
boxing wise, if she had more power, I think she'd be a lot better. I just feel bad that she doesn't possess that power because she throws punches and bunches all day.
She does.
But
She does.
she just doesn't hurt her opponent. I thought it was maybe a draw, or she could have lost because of the knockdown. But,
Okay.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
just like that because, you know, I keep rooting for all women. I'm a big Sanisa fan. I'm a big
Right.
Sulem fan.
Ah,
And I keep-
Sanisa, she
Definitely.
is a badass. Like
No.
her.
Her and Amanda Serrano
That's
are
right.
Oh, yep.
badasses.
Yes.
But I keep hoping
absolutely.
that Marlene shows me something. I keep hoping that other
That's
than
what
her
it is.
personality,
Yeah.
like boxing wise, she shows me something. I keep
Yeah.
watching. I keep getting disappointed. I'm like,
Yeah.
eh. But
Yeah.
Sulem
Yeah.
will be fighting Fujioka, and that's gonna be a really good fight.
Yes.
I'm
Fujioka's
gonna do what you just did about that.
Say it.
My mom said if I can't. My mother always said if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all.
Don't
So-
say anything at all. Yep.
well,
Fujioka's a
Mama
beast.
said.
yeah, that's gonna be a good fight though. I'm hoping to be there for that whole card actually.
Where is it? Oh, it's in
L-
LA, right?
LA at the Bank of
Yeah.
California Stadium.
Oh, so many fights in July.
It's gonna start on a Friday at 12:15.
I'm gonna miss them all.
Well, you're gonna be at the Olympics, okay? So
I
Yeah.
am.
So,
I am.
you can't, yeah.
I'm very, very grateful. I'm very
Yes.
happy. We leave Wednesday, so yeah.
Yeah, I'm jealous on that.
That's
part.
awesome.
That's
Me too.
amazing.
And you know the crazy thing is too is like because I believe it's NBC has the rights.
Yeah.
So we can't even like do Snapchats, we can't take pictures, we can't
Really?
do nothing. Nothing.
Because of NBC?
Yeah. Yeah, we cannot do anything. I mean, the kids can't even like say if they won or lost
Oh, yeah.
until it's aired, and you know it's very strict. I mean, oh my gosh, it's so strict. It's so strict even getting into Japan. They said we're going to be going through immigration for anywhere from 3 to 9 hours because we need so much documentation. They check everything.
I could get
You
my
know,
cousin
it's
over here
really-
faster.
Right? Yeah, some of mine too.
Oh my God.
but you know what?
I would lose my
This is-
mind.
it's worth it. It's a dream come true. And
It's
these
an
kids-
experience.
We have a great team. Oh my gosh, we're bringing home medals. I guarantee our team.
Oh,
is
for
like
sure.
solid.
O'Shea.
I saw Keyshawn
I'm
doing
going-
Oh
today.
yeah, O'Shea, that's
O'Shea.
my girl.
She's bringing one. I know that for a fact.
Well, Naomi,
Yes.
Naomi, Jenny, Rashida.
Oh yeah.
There's a fifth one that I can't name yet. Hopefully I'll be able to. And she definitely will too. And then our guys. I mean, you know,
I think,
they are powerhouses.
I think Keyshawn for sure.
Keyshawn.
Oh.
Keyshawn,
Yes,
yeah, that's what
I
I said.
mean-
Keyshawn did a
Uh,
little video today, and I was like, oh, It's
And
awesome.
you also
I
got
really like him.
Ricardo Torres, who's
Richard.
from there you go.
Richard.
From around my way here.
Absolutely.
He's from around my way as
Yeah.
well. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah. He is.
So
Yeah. I mean, all the guys are just great.
now,
You know,
when you're
they really
there,
are.
are you going to go to any of the other events?
Well, see, that's the thing is, because of the COVID protocols, like we're so restricted on a lot of things, and then we just heard that they opened it up. So I'm just waiting to see if they're going to open it up to us to go to other places. But I do have to mention Troy and Duke because they are
Oh yeah,
also
Troy Isley,
they're yeah,
beast,
they are beasts.
and
They
Duke
are.
Reagan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
monsters.
and we've had Australia here and the Philippines and Jordan here. We've had a a training camp and we've been sparring them and they just all look amazing.
That's awesome.
I'm just so happy with them. But I hope I get to see some of the other events. I mean, I would like to do that.
See, me
We'll
personally,
see.
when it comes to the Olympics, and I'll get laughed at for this, track and field and gymnastics would be the first two that I would go to. Honestly,
No,
No,
not
well,
laughed
me.
at. Those are awesome.
I'm
Oh,
talking
they
about
are.
me.
They're
You're gonna
great.
see,
Gymnastics is
you're gonna see this big 6 foot dude sitting there cheering on someone doing the vaulting and all that. Yeah, exactly.
right.
But-
Eh,
and-
Perfect
yeah.
landing.
Still,
Yeah, I'll be like, oh, that's how you do it. She killed that landing. But I mean, I would go to basketball too and soccer, but those are my two.
Oh, I
Like,
love
I get so pumped up
gymnastics.
to watch
And I
track
love
and field and all that.
swimming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you
Will
go,
there
that
be
too.
public
That's always been
attendance
a
or
one I watched.
is it still closed?
Only the Japanese can attend, like 50%. Like they I mean they were not too happy about us even going. But they are now gonna let the Japanese like the kids can't even have their parents or any kind of relatives go,
That sucks.
which is tough because in the past they could. And in the past, they would even let like their home coaches, the ones that started them out,
Yep.
be
Yeah.
able to go, which is so important. But we had a really sweet send off on Sunday, and everybody's parents and friends and family called in on a Zoom call, and they were really happy. People don't realize what they go through. It looks very glamorous and amazing and wonderful, and it is, but it's a great sacrifice. You miss so much out of life and with your family, and then going through COVID and it being postponed for another year, the Olympics, and then your own personal issues. One of our athletes, you probably heard about it. Their house got burnt down a
Yep.
week before we had to come to camp.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh wow.
Real life issues, and there's so many more. That's why we just love these kids. I mean, they are troopers. They are tough, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. They're tough.
And
They
that
really
I mean,
are.
they're
This
warriors
is going to be
inside
the
and
toughest
out.
group.
yeah, and
Yeah,
that
this is going to be the toughest group. They have
Yeah.
gone through so much adversity.
and that team would have been, I think, even stronger had COVID not hit, because I know so many had to say, I'm going pro because I can't wait no more.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing, Keyshawn, Troy, and Duke, they did go
Yeah.
pro. And this is the first time in history. We've made a lot of history with this team because this is the first time in history that we're ever having pros. Other countries do and
Yeah.
have. We would not ever do it.
But they take
And
35
also-
fight veterans, pros.
Yes,
That's
yes.
different.
Yeah, exactly. And then also, we were the first to go to a different country and start competing and training. So it's good. This team is really together.
And,
I think the team, you guys have just done everything right. Like
yeah,
from what I know about the Mexico team, like there's been some inactivity, but it's not like how you guys have just constantly stayed active. Like you said, you've gone to
Right.
train with others and spar with others, even if you're not competing in tournaments, but you've had experience with others. And there's some countries that just haven't had that advantage. And I think USA is going to
No.
dominate.
I think
Yeah,
they're
and
going to
even,
take at least
we
4
didn't-
gold medals. At least. I mean, probably more,
absolutely.
but at least 4.
Absolutely. They're very strong. You know, we have a great head coach, Billy Walsh. We have 5 other coaches, including myself included, and we care about these kids, and we're family. You know, we're together so much, and we just really support each other on everything, and we have a great team. So I'm excited. I'm super excited.
Yeah. Well,
The
Did you guys
experience of a
all? Do
congratulations
you
on
have
that.
to be? Do you have to be vaccinated to go?
You don't have to be. We're the only country that it's an option. But
Okay.
I don't want to say we're the only country that it's an option. I think we're the only country that chooses for it to be an option. You know, we're very blessed in the United States. A lot of people don't realize that. You know, we have it available. We can
Can get up right
get
now
get
and get it.
vaccinated or not. Other countries, they can't get it.
Oh.
You know,
Mm.
so it's sad. I'm sorry.
I mean, look at Mexico. They got all the Johnson and Johnson. Everybody's been getting sick, and the
I
effects have
I
just been
know.
horrible. Like,
I know.
oh.
I know.
Oh
Well,
wow.
you know, and like
It's
my
been so
mother-in-law,
bad.
you know, my mother-in-law got her first vaccine. She's in Mexico, and she had to wait 2 months for the second one. And it's like 2 months. You're not supposed to go more than 21 days, you
Yeah.
know, but
Hmm.
it is what it
Right.
is. And all of the other countries have chosen to get the vaccine. And I just saw a special on TV Sunday, and people were like upset because the athletes, the Olympians, were getting it before like maybe some of the elderly or the sick or whatever. But they were choosing to get it. And here, a lot of our people don't want to get it, you know, and it's like you don't realize how blessed you are to be able to. And I'm not promoting it, whether you get it or not, that is your
Yeah.
choice. I'm just saying that we are very blessed in the United
To
States
have that option, yes.
to have
To
the
have an
option.
option, yeah. Like
Uh,
to be able to
Absolutely.
just
To
go to
have it so readily
Walgreens and just
available.
go,
yeah.
yeah. Like
Just
I
walk
literally
in.
just
Absolutely.
went
Yeah.
into Walgreens and just like I got my second shot on Saturday, and ugh, it knocked me out. I just laid in
I
bed
had
and
no
watched
issues
the
at
fights,
all.
and I'm like,
Yeah.
I see, as you said, you're not promoting it or anything. I probably personally wouldn't have gotten it, but I had COVID
Right.
and it hit me for nearly 3
Yeah.
months, and no, I don't ever want that again because I use an inhaler now. I never had to use an inhaler,
Oh,
and
it takes so long
yes,
to recover from it. I
I
had it
still
too.
feel
It
it.
took, yeah, it's so crazy because I got it right before a camp in January. And so as soon as my 10 days were up, I flew right out to Colorado, or we went to California then, I think. And but it took me a month, you know, and I have to do mitts with the kids. We have to do this and that, and I try to like work out a little bit myself too because I got to keep up with these guys
Yeah.
and girls. And I was fuzzy in the head. I was tired. I couldn't breathe. And then coming to Colorado to even California, you know, Esmeralda, when
Yeah.
we went there, the altitude is different from where I come from. It was a struggle, you know, but I did get the vaccine because we're traveling all over the world,
Hmm.
number one. And number two, my mom is going to be 74. She's never had it. And I would feel so guilty if I gave it to my mom.
Yeah.
Like, no,
yeah.
Yeah.
you know, or anybody else,
Yeah.
not just my mom, anyone.
Yeah, I was happy when
So,
I got it that my daughter or my fiance didn't get it. That was my
Yeah.
biggest fear,
oh,
was I didn't want
wow.
them to get it.
Wow.
So I was like,
Yeah.
I was just stuck,
What a
scared.
blessing.
Yeah, I was terrified that they were gonna get it, and thank God they didn't. But yeah, from
Yeah,
that,
really.
I never wanted it again because it hurt. Like you said, I mean, I
Yeah.
went maybe after the 6th or 7th day. I was like, I'm gonna go throw the trash. I threw the trash. I'm coming back inside, and I'm like,
Yeah, like you did like
yeah,
a very extensive
yeah.
workout.
And I was like, oh my, and it was like, I know I could do this, and I couldn't. I just, no matter
Right.
what I thought, there was not a damn thing you could do about it, and it
Yeah.
sucked. Especially now, like I
Yeah.
said, with the inhaler.
So true.
There's days where I forget it when I'm at work, and I'm like,
Yeah.
and I get scared, but then I'm like, I
Yeah.
just relax. But
Wow.
so there's
Right,
days,
right.
yeah. But I got the vaccine, as you said. My parents are older. Same thing. I'm around a lot of kids. I have
Yes, me
almost
too.
40 nieces and nephews. Half of them are probably
Oh
under,
my.
yeah, half of them are
Nice.
probably like under 10, I guess.
Yeah.
And then I
Oh
work in a
my.
warehouse of,
Christmas. Woo.
oh, no, I work in a warehouse of 1,500
Damn.
people. So yeah, I
We
did not want to risk it.
Wow. Yeah.
we got COVID
Yeah,
in
I have.
December 2019 in LA. Where I worked at, there was a lot of Chinese tourists, and my husband got it. Then I got it. We went to one of the
Ugh.
best hospitals out there, Cedars-Sinai. They closed the emergency room, didn't let anyone come in, not even the ambulance. Closed it completely. The doctors were like rolling us medication. They made him get like sign up too, and for like it was weird because they would call us like, "Hey, how are you feeling? How's the medication? How are you doing?" And it wasn't until after we were like, and we did the antibody test, and they're like, we had COVID,
Yeah.
and it was horrible. We're with kids a lot in the
Yeah.
amateurs, so we just got our first shot like a couple weeks ago. So we just don't want them affected, like
Yeah.
Christine says. You know, we don't want to be the cause
Yes.
to give it to anybody else, and especially
Yes.
the younger kids.
Well, especially
Yeah,
too,
because you
like
don't
some
know
of
if
these
you're carrying it.
it would be
Mhm.
done. They would be done if they get COVID right now. We're in such a tight bubble, and
That's
I just didn't want to risk it.
Yeah, and like
that's why
as you
when
said,
Tio said he had COVID,
Yeah.
I was like, oh God,
Yeah.
how long is he gonna be out? Like,
Yeah.
yikes, because that,
yeah, and then he has
affects
asthma.
lungs.
That was my fear, is because he
Yeah.
has asthma.
Yes.
So that's
Yes.
I was like, it
You
killed
know, the
my lungs.
positive
Imagine him.
thing- Exactly. I think the positive thing is how in shape he is. And he's got
Yes.
his team around him. His nutritionist, Perfecting Athletes, my girls. I always have to mention them, but Michelle's a doctor. The thing that saved me from suffering so much is one of my friends is a nurse practitioner, and she came and she gave me IVs of vitamin C and zinc, vitamin D, and all this other stuff every other day. So I didn't suffer, and my husband, my whole house got it, my whole family got it, but except my mom, thank God. But my husband's like, I don't like needles, I hate needles. Okay, well you sit over there and suffer, honey, because I'm okay, because I got the IV. I'll take the needle, and it did make a world of difference. It really did.
I
Wow.
suffered, but I take maca root and sea moss. So
Maca root, yeah. I take
so
maca
that
root
helped
too.
me a lot, because
Yes.
by about the 6th, 7th day, I was like, I could breathe a little better. I
Yeah,
wasn't as
yeah.
dragging, but I think that's what it was that helped me more. And then me personally,
Absolutely.
I drink Pedialyte whenever I feel anything, and that's I probably ran through
I
Pedialyte and
take
that.
zinc immediately,
Yeah.
zinc, and then I'm good. Kills
Oh, and for the cough, I took
Zinc it up.
you'll know about this one, Esmeralda. Tucol. Yes, they text me. Shout out Michelle Joy Phelps. She was like, "Hey, take Tucol, you'll be okay." And I was like, "All right." And I
And
went.
it works.
Yeah, I took it, and that day I was
love
like,
Michelle.
I'm not coughing no more. I was like, okay. So
Okay, y'all need to send me that. I
Yeah.
need to figure out what it is. Send it to me, please.
I just had
Esmeralda.
hernia surgery,
ooh.
and I was so scared to sneeze or cough, and they
Yeah,
gave
but-
me that too, and I was like, thank God.
Yeah, I took that, and I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Like,
Okay, I
it's
need
What
that.
is
I
it
need
called?
that.
Tucol.
Ducor.
Yeah.
Tucol.
Tukol. It's
Okay.
it's a
My husband, that is.
it's a person on a picture, and it's red right here. That's how you'll tell. Yeah, that's why.
Okay.
That's why I said I know Esmeralda knows this, because that it's straight from Mexico. Like, I've seen it every time I go to the swap meet now, so I'm like, okay, I know it came from Mexico.
I
I'm
know
gonna start
to look
selling
for
them in
now.
the States.
Exactly. Just
Do
hey,
it,
you need
girl.
some?
Do it. Bring
Just
it
pull
over.
up like, hey, you need some of this? All right. But another reason I got
Oh, did I
vaccinated
hear you
too
cough? Here you go.
was the fights, as I told you guys, when me and Christine were in Vegas. I would have hated if I had gotten COVID when I got there,
Yeah.
and I talked to a
Ugh.
fighter and I get him sick, because I got it on
Oh,
my
yeah.
birthday. So I felt terrible. That
Ooh.
was my birthday gift, was COVID. So I tell everybody, what'd you get for your birthday? COVID. They're like, oh.
COVID, and I went to return it.
Yeah.
They wouldn't
Exactly.
take it back.
So I've always thought
No.
like I would have hated to give it to a fighter or vice versa, anything. Because imagine
Is
getting a fight
Lopez
canceled.
against the vaccine, or he just
I just
hasn't
think
been
he hadn't.
vaccinated yet?
I don't know.
I
I heard
don't
he just
think
hadn't
he's
got it.
against the vaccine.
Yeah.
I know that they were saying that, like, what I've heard, if you have asthma, and then maybe if you get the vaccine, and it hits some people hard when they get the vaccine, you get really sick. So I'm not saying him, but I've heard other people that have had asthma or have asthma that said they didn't want to take the vaccine because then if they got really sick and it triggered their asthma, because also, anxiety triggers your asthma more.
Yes.
So maybe that's why he didn't want to get it, because of his asthma. I don't know. I have a son my youngest son who has asthma. He's 16 and he did get COVID and he was really, really sick. But and he's like, I don't want to get the vaccine because what if I get sick again? He was very sick. So that's
It's scary, yeah.
Yeah.
My
It is
nephew
scary.
has severe asthma, and he got the vaccine, and he was okay. He was okay. So it
That's
just
good.
depends on the
The
person. But
Yeah, it just really hits
It
you
does.
different.
yeah, he got it. He
It
got
does.
the vaccine because it could be deadly if he got COVID.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
because there seems to be different variation, like it affects everyone differently. Like some people have had COVID, like if Tio had it and he was like a couple days or a week or whatever, and he's okay now. That's
Yeah.
great. But some people
Yeah.
are like in the extreme, where we had here in Illinois in a hospital close to here, a 20-year-old, I think he was 20, had to have a double lung transplant to save
That's
it.
horrible.
Like
That's scary.
it was just, yeah. And like I was scared because my sister has lupus and I have another autoimmune disease, and so I was scared to get the vaccine because I didn't know how I was going to react. And the second dose, they always say, they're like, well, it's going to be really bad, and because you have the rheumatoid arthritis and da 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 da, and your joints and it'll bother you and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, now that you put all this fear in me, now it's like now I'm going to think about it.
Now I'm
And, like,
stressed.
Yeah. Now, and I've got anxiety on top of that. So now you just like made things worse. But it's just in the long run, I think it's scary because it's not FDA approved and whatever. But it's scarier to get COVID.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so I just
It sucks.
Yeah, it does.
yeah, it does, because it's like you don't know what to do. Like, should I get it? Should I get it? Should I not get it? So I ended up doing
And
it,
it's all
and
personal.
I got the Pfizer.
I don't promote it. I don't not promote it. I'm just like, I did it.
Yeah.
It was my personal choice.
Yeah,
and
'cause
whatever
some
y'all
people-
want to do is
Yeah,
cool.
you can't promote something
Yeah.
that's like,
I understand
It's like
why some
saying-
people
No,
say
it's
I don't
hard.
want to get it. I understand why some
Yeah.
people say it.
Cool.
So, but I will
I was
say,
initially not going to get it.
yeah, my 5G to my phone from my body though is way better now. So, I'm good with that.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I
You
get
hear
great
that,
service
guys?
when I do the Wi-Fi from my body to the phone now. So,
Okay. All right.
But- okay, so
That's funny.
That's interesting.
no, those little theory things have made me laugh though, because I'm like, I don't have nothing sticking to my body. I don't put a key to my body and
Right.
get stuck.
Here in Mexico,
yeah, my
everyone
kids-
with the Johnson and
Oh
Johnson,
my god!
everyone, the key, the pesos that they're attaching. I'm like, is it true? Like it's that bad? And it's like, I want to say a majority of the people here in Mexico are just like, they're having fun tagging
Yeah.
things onto their
Yeah,
shoulder.
they told me that. They're like, try it, and I was like, okay. So I put a key to my neck,
Yeah.
and it got stuck for
Yeah.
like half a second, and then it fell. And they're like, oh, it got stuck. I was like, cause I'm sweating. It's the summer.
Yeah.
It's hot as hell
That's
out here.
grease.
Yeah.
Greasy.
I was like, I just came
I
out
know,
of work.
I know. My kids too. They brought a magnet. They're like, "Come here, mom," and they tried to put a magnet on me. I was like, it's not sticking.
Uh,
It's not staying there. Like, it's not true. But I didn't do Johnson and Johnson. I was gonna do Johnson and Johnson when I went to nationals, but then I had to leave because I had an emergency. And then I heard about all the blood clot, and so I'm glad because I'm
yeah.
very
Mhm.
prone, to
Yeah.
that. So I was just like, okay, that
Yeah,
was God.
That's why I didn't do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got Pfizer's. I got lucky that
I
day.
got Pfizer too.
They were
Yeah,
gonna do
I got
Johnson Johnson,
Moderna.
and then they said, "Oh no, we're not doing those no more." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, no.
Yeah, so
Mm-mm.
it's crazy, but I do got two more things real quick I want to go through before we go. First, shout out to Charles Conwell and Hitman Haven Brady, my guys won on Saturday right there. Soul City Boxing. With the 135, we're gonna bring Tank back in. Out of those four, Loma, I'll throw Loma in there. So five: Loma, Tio,
Okay.
Haney, Ryan, and Tank. Which one of those do you think is the one? I'll go first on
One.
mine because this is the way I see it.
Only one.
I think Ryan can beat all of them, and I also think Ryan could get wiped by all of them. I think he's the one
I
wild
see
card
what you're
in that.
saying.
He's the one
I
wild
see what
card
you're-
to me. He could beat
It depends
every
on this.
yeah, he could beat every single one of them with his speed, his power, and when he shows that IQ. But I think
Yes.
he could get wiped out by every single one of them as well.
Man, I agree with you,
Yeah.
100%.
To me
Yeah.
personally,
It's that mental game.
yeah, I think
He's
it's
not
Teo.
mentally strong.
I think Teo's the one.
I do too. I think he's strong as hell. I think you would knock Ryan like across the canvas, to be honest, because Ryan is a little dude.
But
Not a
Ryan's
little dude,
tall and he's long.
No, I was like, he's big.
And
He's not
he's
little.
actually a big kid. He's a big
Yeah.
kid.
He is a
He's
big
almost
kid.
6 feet.
He's
Yeah.
big and big.
Yeah. So,
And do you
I've met him
think he
several
can take?
times.
He has a strong jaw to take the punches of Loma and Teo and Davis.
well,
So
you
he
know
would
what?
only have to rely on his speed and
That's
not
the
get
thing
caught.
with Loma. I don't think
Yeah.
Loma has the same power at 135 that he has at the other one. So
Absolutely not.
can Loma? Who has Loma struggled with? Pedraza, Teo, and I know
Toledo.
who?
Toledo.
So yeah, and
Later.
Linares, big,
Mm.
strong, longer people. And Teo, he's not so much taller, but he's a big, strong kid. Ryan is a
He's big.
big, long, strong kid.
He is big.
If he learns
Yeah.
how to keep you at the end of that jab, that right hand is so quick and that left hook is perfect. I mean, Luke Campbell could tell you that. So that's why to me he's that wild card where he could knock all of those guys out, but then I also think he could get knocked out by Tank, he could get knocked out by Teo, he could get beat by Loma, he could get beat by Haney because of Haney's just overall boxing skill. But I think
Yeah,
he
he's
could beat
very
all of them as
skilled.
well. That's-
I'm going to piggyback on you, and I'm going to say that I totally agree, but I'm going to go a step further, and I'm going to say that Garcia is not mentally strong. And I'm in no way poking at him because of things that he's been through mentally, because we all go through it.
Mhm.
I mean, depression, anxiety, whatever, lack of
Life.
confidence,
Life,
self-esteem, life. Right. So I'm not making light of that. I'm just saying that I don't believe that he is mentally strong enough to beat these guys that he could beat if he was mentally strong. So I totally agree with everything that you said, but I will take it a step further and say, even though he could be the wild card, he will not be the wild card. I'm going to have to say Tio would be the one.
Who would be your wild card then if it's not Ryan?
Do I have to pick a wild card?
Yeah, there's got to be one that you could see. Because my backup wild card would be Devin. I think Devin could outbox every single one of those guys.
Okay, you know what? You're right. He could outbox everybody. He does lack power, but he does not have to engage. He doesn't have to get in the pocket. He could outbox the pants off of everybody if he plays it smart.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I agree with you. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Esmeralda, what do you think?
You both kind of read my mind, and I'm trying to. I'm like, no, it's exactly what
I
I
want to say
think.
it first.
No,
What they
Ryan
said.
Garcia,
Yeah.
his worst opponent is his mind,
Mhm.
and
Absolutely.
until he gets that, until he can beat that, I think there's going to be a very big threat, Ryan Garcia. But it's definitely Taylor, and I've been impressed by Haney, but I still want to see more of Haney because I think there's also a lot of room where he needs to improve.
Definitely. Yep.
I want to see him
Yeah,
knock some people
definitely.
out.
That's
All
what
that
I would
power
like
he
to see.
should.
Honestly, we were really, really spoiled by what he did to Antonio Moran. That knockout spoiled us because now that's what we expect from him. And that
Well,
was
yeah,
just
the bar has been raised,
yeah,
you
but
know.
that was a perfect punch. Like
Before
happens.
Tracy answers, so do you think that same bar is set for Berlanga?
I think I'd like
Like,
Berlanga, but
we expect it.
they've overdone too
not-
much with him.
Sold. Not sold.
I'm not sold. I
Me
like
neither.
him. I believe he has that power. I just think they've
Yeah.
overdone it so far. Me,
Yeah,
who I'm sold on
I-
is Xander. Xander's my guy. I'm sold
Oh,
on him.
Xander. Absolutely. Let me tell you something.
Absolutely.
Xander is the real deal.
Mhm.
He has been in camp with me. I have done mitts with him. I have worked his corner when he's sparring. The kid is strong as shit.
Yeah.
Also,
So you're
he's
feeling
freaking
that power.
smart.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Yes, he has
Damn.
real power. And trust me, I have done mitts with many, many men and women. He has got
Mhm.
real power. And he does not have his full grown man strength yet.
That's
Still,
another
yeah.
one. Yep.
Right, because he's only 18.
is the future. He's the future. Trust me. And he's smart. He's and anything and coachable. Oh my God. Anything you tell him to do, he's gonna do it. He will do it.
I've
He
heard
is
nothing
a
but great
coach's
things
dream.
about him. Yeah, I've heard nothing but great
His
things.
interviews, he seems like a nice,
friendly.
humble, good kid.
He is.
He is so humble. His parents are awesome. He's awesome. He's great. He's a future.
So
Yeah,
that's gonna lead into my
I
next
like
one. Then.
him.
Who out of the young guys and anybody, I mean anybody, I'll say 25 and younger, do you think is the ones that'll take it to the future? My picks,
So you're talking about like Shakur, Xander.
All of those, yeah.
Who are your picks?
mine, Virgil, Ortiz, and Boots Ennis. That's my one. Ennis, I think,
Boots?
is the one. I think Boots is that one.
I like Boots a lot.
Boots, Boots and Virgil is Spence and Crawford in 2 and 3 years. 2 and 3 years. It's Boots and Ortiz, and that will happen because both of those kids don't shy away.
Yeah,
I'm
I
with
like
you
Boots
with
and Ortiz.
Virgil and Xander.
Mhm.
I'm not sold on Boots.
Oh,
I'm
I
not.
was sold
I agree.
more what he did to Lipinets. I thought he was gonna beat him. I didn't think he was gonna beat him that quickly and that easily. At that point, I was like,
also Lipinets is also on his way out.
yeah. And
So
I know
we
he's
have
a
to, we have to
140.
like weigh all those things.
I know he's a 140 and he went up and everything, but still, Lipinets off of what he did to Peterson that nobody had done, and yes, Peterson was over the hill a bit still.
I was gonna say, yeah.
No, still, but
Yeah.
Boots, I'm sold.
But I mean, that's cool.
I've seen so much of Boots through people that I know out there, and like Charles Conwell, who has sparred with
hope
him,
you're right.
and he's told me, he's
Yeah.
like, no, that kid's real. So I think it's Boots and
Okay.
Ortiz.
It's fair.
And I did a video 3 months back. Ortiz was the only one that every single person that I asked put on their list. It was Ortiz was the only
Oh,
one.
absolutely.
Oh.
Yeah,
like I
Virgil,
said,
yeah.
I've known him since he was like 9 years old in the gym, and he was always a superstar. Super humble, doesn't talk, super quiet. I think that's probably why he's not even bigger than he is. It's totally on his skill
Yeah.
because he doesn't talk, you know, and maybe some people don't think he's marketable or whatever because he doesn't talk and he doesn't trash talk. I mean, someone had quoted him saying that he wanted Crawford. He went back and said, no, I never said that. Like, but whatever.
They
like,
said-
whoever I have to fight, I'm going to fight.
Yeah, I think the story said.
This is Virgil Ortiz you're talking about?
Yeah, they said that
Yes.
he had said I'll hurt Crawford or something like that, and he said he'll
Right.
take the fight, but he never trash talked to that point.
He does not
No.
talk that way
Wow.
No,
at
so-
all. He's such
Just
a
like
good,
Xander
humble kid.
doesn't. Just like, yeah. I like that. Xander reminds me of Kodo.
Yeah. So Esmeralda, who do you
So
think
far.
who's yours for who you think is going to be the future?
Virgil Ortiz for sure. I think every time I see him, I just see so much progress, and I'm like, and we're he's not even halfway there, but I'm so excited to see what the future brings for him. It kind of sucks for me because I see so many fighters in Tijuana and Mexico in general in those weight classes that, I mean, they're not fighting in the States
They don't get the
yet.
opportunity.
Exactly, but they're great, amazing fighters, and they're just not, they're just not known or they're just not out there yet.
Yeah.
But it's just, I think there's so many new good fighters that are going to come, and it's just going to get more and more difficult in the weight classes.
Yeah, and that's why I like Ring City because they give a lot of those.
I
chances.
love Ring City.
Yep.
Oh my gosh,
they haven't done it in a while, but
they have
love Ring City.
They are my favorite so far.
I think August or September. I'm hearing.
Who do they put?
Okay,
where do they put shows on it?
City.
NBC, Sports.
Oh, okay.
But I think it's getting moved to Peacock next year, right?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah, but no,
I love Ring City.
I love it. Yep, they do good. So this other question from Santoya Medio. First, he said same thing that you said, Christine, about Sanisa. If you got nothing to say, nice. Don't say it at all. That's his response. He says Haney count outbox those guys at 135.
35 for 12 rounds. Yeah.
He wants to know what you guys feel between Virgil and Mean Machine. I believe that's the 14th of August, right?
Oh shit! Look, Mean Machine. So people really like I saw something on Twitter. Oh, Crawford fought this unknown guy, Mean Machine. I'm like, unknown guy. Like, are you freaking kidding me? This guy's a freaking killer. Yeah, he's a beast. He's an animal. His power is like unbelievable. Yeah. Mean Machine, again, he's one of the guys he's on his way out. He's still dangerous, but I definitely have Virgil. I mean, but Virgil, so Maurice Hooker and Virgil fight, that was a freaking battle. You know, they both went out there and they did their thing and they both came out of the ring messed up. You know, Virgil is not afraid to go in. I think that, but I think he's smarter than to just bang with him in the pocket. Virgil, absolutely hands down. But it's gonna push Virgil up fighting Mean Machine. It really is. It's gonna take him to greater heights.
Yeah, I think he beats him.
All the doubters are gonna see
10,
what he really
10 round
brings to the table.
stoppage.
I can see
think
that.
he's definitely gonna beat him. Yep.
Yeah. But it's gonna be tough. He's gonna have some.
It's going to be tough.
He's gonna get hit.
No joke.
To where he evaluates everything again. That's definitely.
I was at that fight when he fought Crawford, and I was just like, whenever like Crawford, slipped, I was just like, you know, Mean Machine is no joke.
Yeah, I've seen him fight in person, and as you said, he hits hard. Like
he does. You
the
can
sound
hear
of those
it.
punches. Yeah, it's like I've seen Better Be a fight in person. He scared the shit out of me how hard he hit. Like he hits hard. I was just like,
wow.
Yeah. You could hear how strong Better BF is when he's shadow boxing. Like you could hear the snap. I was like, oh my god. So yeah, no, Mean Machine hits like a truck too for that.
Yes,
and he's just compact. That's what it is. He's so compact. And
absolutely.
Yeah, when he hits,
everything's power.
My other
so Virgil
thing
has said he'll fight anybody.
Oh, yeah.
He just wants to beat the best and be the best.
Yeah, he just wants to fight.
And he's not scared. Yeah.
And that is the makings of a great fighter, where you just want to fight anyone. It doesn't not cherry pick. Oh, this Mayweather thing is really bugging me.
Well, like he said, I think in his last fight, whether I win or lose, he's like, I just want to fight the best because I eventually want to be the best. So he's not worried about having a loss-free record. Like he doesn't care. He wants to just fight the best.
Which I admire and respect so much.
Mm-hmm.
Just put me in there with the best.
I think fighters should really, hey, it's okay to lose.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you learn from that loss, make the changes and move on.
Yeah.
I mean,
and lose a great fight.
To have a loss. Yeah, yeah,
it's worse if you lose and you look uninterested in that fight. If you out there and you give it your
yeah,
all and you lose, hey, you win some, you lose some.
Or make excuses because you lost.
yes,
We won't go there,
yeah.
but I'm just saying,
Yeah, I wore
it's
a
like
heavy suit
nobody.
earlier today, so I was slow at work. So,
Right, exactly, exactly. Or
but
somebody put.
I'm gonna say this: I think Wilder's gonna knock Fury out this time.
Oh, okay. We
I'm
disagree for the first time
yeah,
on the show.
I'm gonna just throw that out there. The reason being, I
This is
think
being
Fury.
recorded, right?
Yeah,
Because we're gonna go back to this.
I think Fury is not in his head this time. That was the thing I think that messed Wilder up last time. He got in his head. Wilder assumed he had to
Why?
gain
Because he
weight.
had those
No,
headphones on. He
I
couldn't
just
hear anything.
I just think this time he's not. If Wilder, to me, if Wilder comes in 217, 216, looks normal, I think he does it. He put on too much weight the last fight. He's a big guy, but he's not a big guy, if you know what I mean. He's big,
Oh,
but he
I
Right.
know
shouldn't
he's
be
not.
that
Yeah,
big. Like he's
yeah,
tall and everything, and the way he
Right.
is, that's what he is. It's his
He should be
quickness.
lean big.
Yeah, that quickness and that power goes hand in hand. I think he took away some of his quickness by adding on muscle, and that affected him
hmm,
as well. He could say all the other things. To me, it was he put on a
yeah,
little too much muscle, which slowed him down, which also kept him
absolutely.
from getting out of the way of some of those punches. Because against
Well, I am going to put $1 down today that says that Fury is going to win again and probably even more clear. So put your dollar down. Match my dollar.
I raise you $1.25.
Okay.
Yeah,
A
but
dollar
That's a bet.
twenty-five.
I'm just
Because
I
Fury's saying
just
he's gonna come in at 300 pounds.
if
I'm
he
like,
does,
oh
he's
my
going to sleep. If Fury comes in that big, he's going to sleep. Same thing with
yeah,
He
Fury.
talks so
Yeah,
much crap.
Fury is big, but he
That's what he
shouldn't be
does.
that big. The last fight, it just all worked for Fury. He got in Wilder's head, and I, I won't talk about that other stuff. But
that's kind of why I thought Wilder was quiet, but also I see the different points of view of him. Shouldn't, if you're gonna talk all this shit, you shouldn't have been quiet. So, eh, you know,
yeah,
it
I
is
just
what it
I
is.
think he's gonna get him. I don't know.
I just want to see
I
a
might be
fight.
wrong, but I think he's
Yeah,
gonna
you're
get him in
wrong.
six. I think by the sixth or seventh round he stops him, and I'm probably gonna get some flack because I got a lot of love with Top Rank, but that's just what I see this time.
Mikey,
And
you hear your boy?
that's just me on this one. The last subject I want to talk
Okay.
about, because I do have you lovely ladies here, is women in the sport of boxing and combat sports in general. I had this talk yesterday. Um, Personally, so you guys know I'm on your side. I believe women should get paid way, way more than what they do. Um, if you're boxing or in the cage or bare knuckles, we talked about earlier, you deserve to be paid well. I understand the 2 minutes in boxing and all that blah blah blah. That should get amended to 3 minutes. I think the women deserve it, because they're training just as hard. They're giving it their all. I've seen some of them train. I've seen them fight. I know they can do it. But what do you think is the biggest obstacle that you would say it is from allowing women to get over to that point? Kind of like how the MMA girls, they get paid a lot better, and get more star recognition than boxing. What would you guys say is the biggest obstacle for women in boxing?
I
In the
think
women.
Michaela said it best. She said, but if I'm going to fight the 3 minutes, I do have to get paid more
Mm-hmm.
because,
Definitely.
yeah, they should fight the 3 minutes. They want to, but they're not going to do it for the same amount. It's so funny because I never wanted to be an advocate for women in boxing, whether it be in the ring or a photographer or a coach or promoter, manager, whatever. I never wanted to do that. Like I wasn't thinking like this is what I'm going to do. This is my mission. But being in this lovely sport as long as I've been in, there is still the bias. Just like we don't want to say because you're brown, red, yellow, black, white, whatever, you have to fight harder or prove yourself or whatever. We want to just think that everybody is going to be judged, by their character and their merit. It's not like that. Um, it's not. And one day I'm going to write a book, and it's going to be amazing. I'll be 100 though. I'm going to wait till like I'm 100, and then I'll write, and I will divulge things that I have had to endure and experience being a woman, um, and in this sport, and all women do, and you don't want to think that. You want to think that no, they just can walk in and yeah, I'm great and wonderful and everything's going to be okay. No, it's not like that.
Definitely not.
So absolutely, do they need to be paid their worth? Absolutely. Why not? They're doing the same thing. I see it every day. The men and women are working as hard as each other. Sometimes, and I'm not being biased, the women work harder because we feel we have to prove ourselves because we are women, and that's not fair. But it is what it is right now.
Yeah,
And one day I hope it changes.
I agree. Esmeralda?
I mean, Christy and I have talked, this is a topic we always talk about. When I fought in the amateurs 22, 23 years ago, these opportunities were not there. And it's come such a long way. Now, when I see little girls, I want them, 10 years from now to be everything that we were never able to get. I want them to be getting paid what they're supposed to, fighting those 3-minute rounds just like the men. I mean, Jackie Nava is a perfect example of she's had kids, has come back her age, and she still is 100% disciplined. She trains every day, like if she has the world title fight coming up. And we, for every woman that affects us negatively and puts us 10 steps back, that's why we all
Yeah,
fight and do work 10 times harder,
absolutely.
because
And
we
we
have a
do it to
lot more to
ourselves.
overcome.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it just,
absolutely.
and so, like Cynthia Puncher, like all these women, we all the ones that are trying to get it better, not everyone sees it. Not everyone sees why we're doing it or
That's true.
sees what we've overcome. And I think promoters just need to have at least one or two women bouts on every single card. Make the men
Absolutely.
watch it. Make more people watch the women fights. Make them go to a main event and have to sit there and watch maybe one or two women bouts, and that'll get
Right.
more attention.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And Tracy, your thoughts on it?
That's something that I have said in the past, is that I really think that there needs to be more female fights on big cards, big, because it's only men right now, big men cards. So that way women get more exposure, and the more I think that women's boxing has really come to light recently, or I'd say in the past 5, 6 months or so. Um, I think that the the potential for women's boxing to be big is there. It's there, and
Oh yeah.
it just needs to be like, the more it's out there, the more, like you said, Esmeralda, like the more that they're on the cards, the more that they see them, um the more I see people talking on Twitter, like saying, wow, wow, these women are like amazing, like I never expected that out of her, like I didn't think that this was going to be such a great fight, like, yeah. And that's the thing, like, these women are great and they are fantastic fighters, so give them a chance and watch them, and I thought Clarissa Shields did even though people had different opinions, that all female pay-per-view card was pretty good, I thought, and I thought also the transition, because I see Shields moving, and Serrano, is it Serrano,
Yep.
Amanda.
going over to MMA as well, and just seeing them is just, I really think that it really needs to be equal across the board somehow, and it just needs to be done. And I think that more women working behind the scenes as managers, promoters, all of that is something that is needed to help get this going.
Yep. And one of the points I made, if we do a 3-minute round, 12 rounds, 10 rounds for women fights, you're going to see those knockouts. You're going to see that
Absolutely.
that brings
Absolutely.
more eyes.
Way more action.
How many times have we seen a fight where we're like, oh, it's over. Oh, shit, there goes a round. You give that
It
person...
goes so fast.
Yeah, you give that girl a minute to recover, and then she's like, only need 2 minutes to move around? Okay, I'll move around and not get hit. By the next round, back to normal. If it's 3-minute rounds, it's...
Absolutely, because people say that there's no knockouts, but my girl, Tierra Brown, 10-0, 6 KOs in the 2 minutes.
Yep.
So it's happening.
Amanda,
Vanessa. Why are these big promoters not putting these women with real talent on cards? Is it because of, I don't know, they're looking for a certain look? They're looking for a certain whatever? I mean, what is it? Because there are girls out there that can knock you out in 2 minutes.
And to that point
the
about
men.
the
We need
look,
to move 'em.
that look that you just said, I will say...
Thank you. I didn't want to go too deep in it. But
I will say it because I love MMA. I know we talked about that. I love MMA. My favorite fighters in MMA is Amanda Nunes and Chris Cyborg. I've been told, and I'll say it by other dudes, like, they don't look good. I don't watch a fight to say, oh, she's pretty. I don't watch boxing and be like, damn, look at Anthony Joshua. Look at Canelo. I don't give a damn what the person looks like. So I'm just saying.
I don't either.
What's their skill level?
Yeah, can they fight? I'm going to watch it.
It's
If
about
you can fight, I'm going to watch you
their-
fight. I don't care what you look like.
Absolutely.
I don't give a damn.
Yeah.
So that's my thing. But to go on to your point about women inside of the sport, this is why I also feel it as well. I'm a dad. So when my daughter's 12, 13, 14, 15, or 20, I don't want it to be, this is the first woman that's going to do this. I want it to be the norm. I don't want her to be pressure of, you have to do this to be the first lady to do it. No, I want it to be where you're going to be the next one of this. I don't want none of that from my daughter. I want her to grow up without any of that extra pressure. But the first job that I ever got inside the industry was from behind the gloves with Michelle Phelps. She gave me my start. So I'm forever indebted to her. And I tell her that all the time. The first amateur event gym that I was invited to was through, in LA, Denise Colomé. She's a PR for Francis Bartholomew. She was the first one to invite me to a gym, to a whole big amateur event. It was a woman. It wasn't a guy. It wasn't any of these dudes that I know now. It was these women that gave me that shot. She gave me interviews with fighters that she managed and was PR for. I got an interview with Curtis Stevens before he fought Lemieux through Main Events, and if you know who Main Events are, that's all women.
Yes.
So I tell people they didn't wait like, oh, well, who are you? Let me see your channel. Who do you work with? They're like, I got you. Guys, and I'll admit it, they'll be like, let me see your channel. Who do you work with? We'll get back to you. The women were like, I got you. Let me help you out. So
But see, that's because women, we're not threatened by the men as commentators, as journalists, as whatever it is. Like, we don't see it as competition because we're all already dealing with so much that we don't need to feel inferior, you know, compared. That's like, we are more willing to help, you know, male photographers, male commentators, male everything, because we don't care. But if I would have been told, like you just said about your daughter, if I would have been told when I was an amateur, like, hey, maybe you won't be pro, but you know what? You could be a boxing photographer. You could be a boxing commentator, because I love the sport so much. I would have gone a different route, but it wasn't available back then, and we need to make it more available now, because
absolutely.
And I say
what
that
guys
because
see.
my daughter might be a
behind the
fighter.
scenes.
She loves fights.
Right.
So,
But you know, I want to say something too, that so yes, the women are very willing and they don't feel threatened by the men or whatever. They're very willing to take you in. But the one thing that we women have to do, and the whole reason why I wanted to do Women Crushing It Wednesdays, was because women also have to support each other. And I've been very blessed to meet some really amazing women that you know, I can call very close friends and I can talk to and be open with. But then there are other women that do not want to see you succeed. They do not want to put their hand out there and help you, because they do feel threatened, because they're like, I had to work so hard, and I get it. I get it, because we've had to work so hard, and we have been stepped on and overlooked, and we've had to like go beyond and prove ourselves. So other women had to do that too. And they're like, and I'm not willing. I've even heard women in boxing say, I had to work hard. You got to work hard. I'm not willing to help you. I don't like that. I will help anybody, and I'm nobody. I will help anybody that wants to be whatever they want to be in boxing. I will give advice. I will do whatever. I remember the first time I walked into a gym in 2000, seriously, to train and to take my kids as a single mom. There was a female coach in there. The woman treated me like I was a bag of shit. You know, I trained, I sparred, whatever. I was like, do I want to compete, or do I want my kids to compete? And it was about my kids, obviously. So they're like, okay, well, you can be a coach. We're going to start, training you and be your mentor. And this woman was like, I ain't showing her shit. She's like, here, you're at a tournament, wrap their hands. I'm not going to show you how to do it. You're going to figure it out. She didn't want to help me. And I said, I would never in my life do that to somebody ever.
I couldn't do that. Yeah.
No.
And yeah, that's true. I've seen it, and I've heard it from other people, from other women. I had that not from a woman, but someone that I helped with things turn their back, and I still don't do that. I've gotten people interviews, like you said, I'm no one, but I laugh sometimes because I go through my phone and I'm like, there's certain fighters, certain managers, certain promoters that I could call and ask them a question, and they'll, I got you. So, but
yes,
but I don't think I'm nothing big, but like I laugh when I'm like, damn, I could really call this person. Like, I'll tell a story. One time I called Jamel. He was on TV. Jamel Herring. He was on TV when I called him. I didn't know he was on TV, and he was like, hello. Let me call you back, Mike. And I was like, I seen him do it, and I was like, oh, my bad, bro. Like, I didn't know. Yeah, I was, and there's certain times where that's happened, where I'll call someone and I'll tell someone, hey, if you ever need anything, let me know. Let me help you. And I don't think I have that big of a reach, but I've never noticed how many people.
We can all help each other in some way.
We
all have something.
I've been shut out of places before, and I've had people help me, like I said. So I'm always there for anybody.
And I was the cut woman on a Showtime or HBO, and they're like, "Who's this girl?" I'm the cut woman. They're like,
And see, to that point, my fiance, she's a photographer at an MMA fight that happened to her. She was working, taking pictures. Some trainer acted stupid and almost went. I went into the back. I'll say this: I went into the back. I didn't care that he was a trainer of what, and let's just say that didn't happen again.
That's right.
He's about 5'4". He knows whatever he knows, but I'm 6'1", and you disrespect my lady, and you're not walking out of there. So
absolutely,
let's just say the next time her name was placed on the ring with her everything, and this is her spot, and I was seeing that guy, and I was like, looked at him, I was like, you know who she is now. So, but same thing, like
to her.
They were disrespectful.
Same thing my husband has to do.
Yeah,
my husband always has to be there, and he's always got. All it takes is for me to just look at him, and he'll run right over like what's going on, and he'll make sure that my space that I'm comfortable in my space, that I'm able to take my pictures, and that no one's either pushing me or getting in my way. And it's because we're females, but no.
After that one,
stuff we deal with.
She left, and then she told me who it was, and I was like, okay. And she's like, hey, where are you going? I was like, I'll be right back. Like, I'll call you back. And I went to the back.
That's my husband too. Yeah. He's silent about it.
Yeah, I was like, I'll be back. And I went to the gym, or I went to the back where they were at, and I seen the guy while people were doing interviews, and I was like, hey, let me talk to you real quick. And he goes, what's up? And then I put my hand just ever so slightly, and I was like, you ever disrespect again, and it's gonna be worse. And then the promoters and everybody were like, hey, what's going on? And I explained, and then they were like, hey, she's with us, like, she's part of our team, blah, blah, blah. Don't you ever do that. And he was like, oh, okay. And next time, bam, her name was blasted right there. So I was like, there you go.
That's good.
So,
and see, it's so funny because I'll always like, I'm the one who's like, My husband's like, I can handle this. I'm like, no, nobody's going to talk to you like that.
yeah, and that's what she is too. She's like, they said, "What do you know?" And I'm like, just chill.
That's me.
I'm like,
I
trust
need to
me,
calm
I'll
down.
handle it. Believe me, I could handle myself.
See, I'm
Yeah.
like that, but I've learned that in this particular sport, because
Girl,
he's
yeah.
I let him do whatever the hell he wants to whoever
Good
he
for
wants.
you. Good
Because
for you.
I'm
Yeah.
like, you might not listen to me, you might not take me seriously, I might not scare you, but my husband sure as hell will scare you and he will do something about it. So I'm like,
Right.
Yeah,
I step
Right.
aside.
and I'll tell this one because this is
That's my brother, my Jude brother.
this is a
Your
story
cancer
that I
brother.
have from my first
Cancer
fight
brother.
that I covered outside of my hometown. Was in LA. It was Scott Quigg and Oscar Valdez.
Wow.
I was put in the the media section because it was raining that night, and I won't say his name, but he's a very, very well known person, and I'll still whoop your ass if it ever comes to it, dude. We've called it cool, but I'm sitting there with my laptop typing up the undercard story. This dude walks in, box of chicken, opens it up, barbecue sauce starts flying. And he's and I'm gonna just tell you, he's well known. It got on my computer. I didn't give a damn who. I didn't recognize who he was until he said his name. But I told him, dude, I don't give a damn who you are, where you're from, whatever. Like,
Right.
this isn't it. And then they told me later, like, hey, you have to be careful, calm down, don't. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I know.
Who's
I'm
gonna
no
pay
one.
for my computer?
Yeah, I was like, I know I'm no one
No one
here,
said
but
who
no
barbecue
one's gonna
sauce on
disrespect
me.
me. I don't care who you are.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
But
But-
boxing and street fighting are two different things.
exactly.
Just because you're a great fighter,
Yeah.
you most likely will not win the street fight.
Well, he's not a.
Right.
He's neither. I'll say that he's a lot of talk. He's a lot of talk. He just pops up everywhere. But he.
I know who you're talking about.
You might.
I do.
You might.
I think so.
But yeah, it got separated, and I'll say this: that's the love I do have from people. They put me in my own separate spot, and I was able to see the fight even better. So.
Oh,
it
dang!
worked
you
out really
big
well.
time.
Yeah, I got
Nice.
lucky. Yeah, it was funny because the fans were down there looking up at me. They're like, "How'd you get there?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm media." They're like, "Can we get in there?" I was like, "No, sorry," because it was raining. But
Sorry. Yeah.
so,
It's hard to be taken seriously as a woman trying to work in boxing as well. I tried for a long time and it was hard. It was hard to be taken seriously. Very hard. Because it's like, oh, yeah. Well, do you want to go on a date? No. No. I'm
Girl.
What?
Uh,
What?
I'll say a lot of the people that know me know how I started. I've probably gotten through the 6 years that I've been doing this. Hey, can you hook me up with Michelle? Well, I should smack that.
Michelle
out of her.
ain't got time for you.
That's exactly what I tell them.
Yeah.
I'm like, Michelle has way more important things
No
to do.
time.
And
Absolutely.
I just laugh because I'm like, you know what? Go talk to her. Go ahead. I want to see this.
I was honored to interview her. We had a great interview. It was, I don't know if you saw it or not, but
Yeah.
it was very amazing.
Yeah, she's
It really was.
I tell her all
I
the
love
time,
her.
if it wasn't for her,
Yeah, I
I
like
may
her.
not be doing this.
A lot.
So
Yeah, I love her.
yeah. When I started my own channel, she reached out right away and was like, if you ever want me on, just let me know. So
Aw.
yeah,
That's
so,
awesome.
Yeah, I got nothing but
That's
love for
nice.
her.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I always say, I'm on your guys' side when it comes to everything women related in this sport. Because,
Thank you.
I've seen it.
We
I've
see it,
heard
we
it.
appreciate it.
I've seen it. I heard it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So and
I
like
have some stories.
my
one day
friends
I'll
always
have to
tell me,
you
if there's a
all.
women's fight on the card, that's the one they're looking forward to. Because as you guys said, they're gonna bring it the whole time. I've never seen a women's fight where I'm like, man, I'm bored.
Women are woo.
Yeah, I've never seen a fight where I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm bored. I don't want to
We
watch
get
this.
mean.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's
I-
why I really think
Personal.
the
I've
more
always
they put
said
on
women
the,
are way more competitive than men. I feel that
Absolutely.
to the core.
because they have more to
I
they
believe
have
Yeah.
to, more to
You
prove.
guys got to bring the show to come back. A guy could fight a boring fight and he's gonna come back no matter what. The woman has to deliver something memorable.
We bring like
Women-
real animosity into the ring.
Yes.
It's like, no, I really like you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna like break your face.
I've seen it, man.
Fuck you up.
Real hate.
Yeah, I've seen it at weigh-ins, and they're like talking. And I'm like, oh, that's a nice build-up, and then they're like, I'm gonna kill that bitch. I'm like, oh, they for real?
Yeah,
I'm like,
exactly.
oh, okay.
It's
Like,
true. Like,
yeah.
no, this is real.
I'm like, no, they're not. No, okay, yeah, because I've seen guys say it, and then they're like laughing about it, or yeah, I'm gonna talk to
Yeah,
them
they're,
after the
they're
fight.
like, they
I'm like,
drink afterwards
Yeah.
after the fight. No, we still hate each other.
yeah. Franchon Cruz Dessern, she told me after her fight that the girl she
Love
beat up
Franchon.
said, oh, let's take off our gloves right now. I was like, what? I was like, you just beat her, and she asked you to take off the gloves? I was like, wow. I was like, okay. She goes, I told her you didn't even
Like,
touch
we
me.
gonna take
but
it to
let's
the
go."
streets.
Yeah. So, yeah, women definitely carry that realness into the ring all the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I love it. I always enjoy the
Thank
women
you.
fights, and yeah, I had to get you guys on. Too bad Nika couldn't come on. Hopefully next time
Appreciate you.
I could get Nika and
Yeah,
Nancy on here.
We love Nika and Nancy too.
She's
yes.
got all
Next
the
time for
gossip.
sure.
Well, Nika gets all the gossip and all the
She's
haters.
so funny. I love her.
Yes.
She don't
And
give a
she
damn.
tears
She's somebody that'll say,
them a
let
new
me take the gloves
asshole.
off and let's fight
Yeah,
afterwards too.
exactly. Yep. After she
She'll
beat
drive
you up.
to you and fight you.
Yes.
Exactly.
So
Meet you at the airport.
yep.
Yeah.
Before the fight, after the fight, during
Terminal
the fight.
5.
hmm
Exactly. Yep. So
I told her once,
Exactly.
I feel like she's like a younger version of myself. Like I would just, I'll fuck you up. Like I don't care. But that's me now at 50. She's a lot younger and she's already got that mentality. So that's awesome.
yeah.
She's a strong woman.
That's why I told her, I was
She
like,
is.
just talking to her little, and then one day I was like, I don't know why I get along with you, and then she's like, I don't know why either, and then one day I said something about someone when I got mad, and she goes, that's why. She goes, you have my same mentality. She goes, you could just keep it hidden better. I'm like, oh yeah, I can. 'Cause,
Yeah.
yeah, if I get
Yeah.
mad, I get mad, but I could keep it more chill and I could ignore it. But yeah, she seen it snap one day. She was like, oh shit, okay. She goes, that's why we get along. I was like, oh okay, yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense now. So
Yeah.
That's so funny. Yeah,
she
we've
snaps
had
at
many
them, like,
conversations.
uh,
When I've been attacked on Twitter, I just make jokes. It's funny.
uh,
Kick rocks, okay, I'll kick rocks.
uh,
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Kick
it's all
rock.
fun.
Oh God.
yeah, kick rocks and
I hate
Nike's
when
they say that.
all stomp your chest in and then have you eat it. I'm like, oh damn,
Yeah.
like, relax, dude. Like,
The things that
I'm
she
like,
comes
okay.
up with is
In
just
front of your mother.
insane.
yeah.
I love it.
Right.
She'll say stuff like, I think one day I was mad about something and she got into it with someone and all I read was, shut up, you ugly bitch. I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. And then I go to it and I'm like, okay, yep. Nike,
Oh,
okay.
this is
There's
why.
Yeah.
Okay.
Story.
But I just
Yeah.
read that and I laughed and then I went through it and I was like, oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah.
So
Tell her,
Yeah.
Nika. Tell her.
yeah. So she's probably my favorite follow on Twitter because I just know somewhere, some
Oh,
point, something's gonna
yes.
happen.
There's
Absolutely.
entertaining shit going on.
Yep.
Yep.
Definitely. So again, we went a lot longer than I thought, but you guys did take
It's
over
been
as you
fun.
said you would.
Oh, wow.
I'm not even gonna lie, you took over.
Time is-
So
Told you.
thank you guys so much for coming on. Before I
Thank
go
you.
and give you guys your break, it's 12 o'clock on the East Coast now. So if she is listening in the other room,
11:15 here.
happy birthday to my lady. Birthday is
Oh,
today.
happy birthday to your lady.
Oh, happy
Yes.
birthday to
Happy
her.
birthday.
Her name is actually Tracy as well. We will
Happy
be,
birthday, Tracy.
We'll be hitting the beach
She's
got
a
tomorrow.
June baby too. I'm a June baby.
Yeah.
So she's Cancer.
I believe so. 29th, yeah. 29th, yeah.
I'm Cancer too.
Yeah,
Hey.
so yeah, her birthday is there. So happy birthday there,
There's that
and
girl's husband, my Cancer brother.
so everybody, go ahead and give again all your social media platforms, where to follow you, and how to, if they want to get in contact. Go ahead, Tracy, first.
I am Boxer Girl 70 on Twitter, IG, Facebook. I don't. It's a little personal, so I don't really mess with it. But social media, I'm Boxer Girl 1970.
As
Follow
Esmeralda.
me.
I'm Fotógrafa de la Gente on Instagram. My Twitter is at Esme Ferraro. But I don't really mess too much with Facebook, so if I'm not as active on there, it's usually just Twitter and Instagram is always the best way.
Definitely. And Miss
Yeah,
Hollywood up here, since she don't remember me the first time we met.
I did not remember your name for like your YouTube channel. I was like, then I did remember. I did remember. Yeah, so I'm in the room with. I make it simple. In the room with Christine. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. I'm also on Potatron Network. In the room with Christine. That's me. Follow and please watch our Women Crushing It Wednesdays. My girls are gonna have to take over while I'm in Japan because I don't know what the time is gonna be. It might be I don't know what time or what day, but we're gonna get it all
14
worked
hours,
out.
I think.
Is it? Okay.
I think somewhere around there.
Wow.
We'll get it all worked out.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely guys,
Thank
follow
you
her.
so much for having us.
Follow all of them.
Thank you so much.
Follow her channel.
Thank you for having
And
us.
No problem. Thank you guys for coming on. Everybody that tuned in, thank you guys so much. Hope you guys enjoyed
Yes,
it.
thank you.
I know I had fun. Hopefully you guys did as well. And Christine, I know you're going to be out there in Japan, so have fun for your birthday and everything.
you.
Bring us
Yes,
home
thank
some
you.
gold. Bring us some gold.
Absolutely.
Yes.
The rest of you guys all
Keep those
pretty
kids
sure will
safe.
still speak all week. Shout out to our boxing chat on Friday. Tracy was actually on there this past Friday.
Ooh.
So shout out to
It
them
was
as
interesting.
always. Yeah, there was a video that shouldn't have been shown, but we'll talk about that some other time.
Oh, I missed it.
Besides that, yeah, thank you guys, everybody. Oh, I got to get my plugs. Vegas Sports Today. Thank you guys. Raider Ramble. Again, you guys have a great rest of your evening. You three
Thank
have
you.
a great night and a great rest of your week as well. Thank you guys for
you
stopping
too.
by.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you guys
Good
later.
night.
All right,
Peace
good night.
out.